There is no honor among thieves in the first place. He put hard times on Dusty Rhodes and his family. Hard times are when the textile workers around this country are out of work and got 4 or 5 kids and can't pay their wages, can't buy their food. Hard times.
You know that I'm the cream of the crop.
It doesn't matter what your name is.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass.
Woo! I tore them all down, and I came here for one reason: to attack and keep coming.
I did it for the rock.
You will rest in peace.
I asked you 1,000,000 times to join the NWO, or you would be born alive.
Shut your mouth, you thong-wearing fatty.
Bang, bang. And what you gonna do when Hulkamania run wild on you?
And that's the bottom line, cause Stone Cold said so.
Yeah! Fire! I won't ride in nothing but limousines, and I won't make love to nothing but the women of the world.
You don't know what hard times are, Daddy.
You will know that your ass is mine.
Bang, bang.
The best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be.
You got a championship belt? I don't.
That's right, I'm a Paul Heyman guy.
When Ric Flair's in town, showtime!
Woo! Sweet!
My belly's just a little big, my hand is just a little big, but brother, I am bad and they know I'm bad.
Beat me if you can survive, if I let you.
Orderly!
Woo! It is Rolex time!
Spoke to Raven.
You just made the list!
Who you beat, brother?
Can you dig that, sucker? I am the game! The whole show.
If I can be serious for a minute.
You son of a bitch! Brock Lesnar. Damn!
Austin 316 says I just whipped your ass.
Oh, you didn't know? I mean, you're the Donald Trump of wrestling. You make Steven Spielberg look like a guy running 8mm films in a garage someplace. Will you stop?
You don't want to recognize my belt, huh? You don't recognize my belt. I think you're a liar. I think you're a flat out, straight up, lying, crying bitch.
Oh yeah. Feel like
Box. Gotta put some respect on that.
feel like I'm waiting
That's
for
ooh, yeah.
Oh yeah. You dig it. I feel like I'm waiting for my name to be called. Who am I kidding? I never fucking graduated.
Shit.
No, really, I didn't. But anyway, what is going on, everybody? It is the Dirt Sheet Dudes. Are you wondering why we're playing Macho Man's music? Macho Man would have been 66 years old today.
God damn. Happy birthday in heaven, Mach.
Absolutely, man. Yep, he would have been 66. So we decided to go ahead and play his music for you guys. 1, it's a great fucking song. 2, it's respectful, goddammit. There's your respect, Anthony.
Yes, you damn right, man. Look, got time for Macho Man all day.
Hell yeah. Definitely. Well, what is going on, everybody? Friday night Dirt Sheet Dudes, you have joined us, and we appreciate it. I am Boxman. That is obviously Anthony. What is up?
Box, chat room, what up? Gonna be a fun show, even though we sat through a shitty episode of SmackDown. So we do a lot for you fuckers. Never forget that.
Yeah. Too much.
Damn, that show, that shit was horrible tonight.
You know what? There were a couple of highlights to SmackDown.
Yeah.
There were 1 or 2. I'll tell you one thing. Heavy Machinery is pretty much my go-to when it comes to highlights because those guys are hilarious. They just are, dude. They're hilarious. I really like their stuff, man. I really do. I think both those guys.
Come on, dude. Look, you telling me you didn't pop, you didn't go crazy for Kalisto and his merry men running off the Undisputed Era? Like that, I mean, that was right up there with Zack Ryder saving the day for his crew.
Yeah, look. It wasn't great. But look, yeah, there was some bad on this episode. It started off horrible, in my opinion. Obviously, obviously started off horrible. But Anthony, before we get to that, let's go ahead and get these plugs out of the way. Let's start out by shouting out the Wrestling Overdose. I'm surprised he hasn't overdosed on wrestling yet. That's Wrestling OD. You can check out Shaheen's artwork at Nuclear Heat Graphics. That is nuclearheatshop.com. And he's got a few things coming up. Why don't you go ahead and knock those out, Anthony?
Yes, sir. Tomorrow afternoon, he's going to be at the big event in New York City. Going to have his whole layout there. And please support that dude, man. Shaheen, in a lot of ways, even though he's not a part of this show anymore, he's the heart and soul of it. He helped bore this show. So please support that man and whatever he does. He puts his heart and soul into everything he does. So he's going to be at the big event tomorrow. So go out, say hi, buy a print. Whatever you need.
Buy two. Damn it. Okay, 3.
Oh, look, plug-in son of a bitch. He's also at the Icons of Pro Wrestling House of Hardcore next week in my hometown of Philadelphia. So he's going to be all over. So please support.
Yeah, absolutely. Support him, and you can find his show. Obviously, you can join his Patreon, Wrestling Overdose, patreon.com/Wrestling Overdose, actually. And like I said, find all his artwork. If you can't get out there, if you cannot find it.
Oh. And look, I got a little extra for you, Box.
I see it. Do it.
If you attend tomorrow, not only do you get to meet the hardest working man in pro wrestling, in my opinion, Shaheen, you also get to meet, courtesy of Gimmick Tree Entertainment, Animal of the Road Warriors, Steve Corino, Masada, and Michael Elgin. They will be at the Nuclear Heat table.
But wait, there's more. Anthony, if you mention you heard on Dirt Sheet Dudes to come out and visit Shaheen, he will give you 1 free print with a purchase of a print. How's that for a deal? So anyone listening right now, mention us, and there you go. You will get a free print, but you have to buy one, so you'll get a twofer. A BOGO, if you will. What do you think of that, Anthony?
Just can't beat that shit. But Box, if you'll indulge me for a second, gotta get a little serious here. Yeah, so last Saturday, tragedy hit our little family here of wrestling marks and fans. Matthew Travis, he died 25 years old. Now, I'm not super familiar with the guy's career, so apologies that I can't give you a rundown. But the guy was 25 years old, and by all accounts, damn good dude. Shaheen spoken very highly of him. And if you just Google this man's name, from fans to his peers, people high up in the wrestling industry have had nothing but kind words to say about this guy. 25 years old. I don't care how much you know about him. That's too young for anybody to go. Hog, which was his home promotion in New York, House of Glory, they're running a tribute show for him tomorrow. It's called No Limit. All proceeds of the show will be going to his family, who I'm pretty sure would appreciate that support. So if you are in the Northeast area, New York, Jersey, Delaware, Philly, please go out and support this dude. Please go out and support this show. It's $20 for a ticket. They're going to have autograph signings starting at 4 o'clock. You get to meet the likes of the Rock and Roll Express and Kurt Angle.
Oh, wow.
And nice. Bell times at 7 o'clock. Kurt Angle himself has plugged the show on his Instagram. It's going to be at the New York Arena, House of Glory. The show's called No Limit. All proceeds of the show go to the family of Matt Travis. By all accounts, once again, he was a good dude, and I'm pretty sure his family will appreciate anything that you can give. Yeah. Anything that you can give.
Yeah, definitely. And I think I need to apologize a little bit. You mentioned that Saturday, and there was some drinking going on, and we sort of just blew right past it, and I apologize for that. But we did. And like I said, me and Smark were obviously pretty hammered. If you listen to that show, Smark couldn't even complete a sentence by the end of it. Smark is not here with us tonight, obviously. I would have introduced him by now if he was. He'll be back Wednesday. But I do want to apologize for that, because we just sort of glossed right over it and didn't even mention it. And I think we might have laughed, but We were just drunk, and I apologize for that. But anyway.
No, you were just trying to keep the energy up because, like I said, it's a tragic situation with the dude. So you weren't making light of it, just trying to, it's a depressing story. But definitely wanted to take some time out to acknowledge that guy's passing. And like I said, 25 years old. It's too young for anybody to go.
Yeah,
but you can, like I said, just support the show. No Limit, Hog, New York Arena tomorrow night, 7 o'clock. Bell time, 4 o'clock. Autograph signings, meet the likes of the Rock and Roll Express, Kurt Angle. I'm pretty sure everybody that's going to be on the card is going to be signing autographs, taking pictures. And like I said, it all goes to the family. So please support.
Good Lord. Just go to see Rock and Roll and Shaheen. That's all you need to go to, guys. That's it. Rock and Roll Express, baby.
Fox, you probably would buy, you'd be responsible for every fucking autograph purchased if you were in the area. That's probably, look, Fox, in 2019, is that the only thing that can get you out your goddamn house to go to a show, support some wrestling? If the Rock and Roll Express is on the card, will you support a show?
I guess. I mean, look, man, trust me, it's not that I don't leave my house. I'm hardly here. It's just I'm doing other shit. Bro, trust me, you never thought Boy Scouts. I never thought Boy Scouts was this goddamn busy. Holy hell, it's busy. But that's pretty much what we leave the house for lately. I got
look
tomorrow.
At this, man.
Tomorrow.
Shaheen, his third weekend in a row seeing Ricky Morton.
My
and
God.
look, dude. Look, Shaheen, who he's not even a Rock and Roll Express fan. This man has seen him 3 times in the past 3 weeks. You have yet to see him once, and you're a fucking diehard, Mark, bro.
No, I have seen them. I did see them a long time ago. It's the whole reason I got into wrestling was because I saw them live. But anyway, so I have seen them. But yeah, that was Jesus. I was probably single-digit age back then. I'll tell you that. That's how long ago that was. But
I love it. I love it.
How can you not be a fan? Anyway, let's just keep this rolling here. Wrestling's high marks. Check those guys out too. Cheeseman, Mojo, and G Wiz, really good guys over there. I was on with them Sunday. I got a little too, imagine that, I got drunk. But I had a great time on that show with those guys. And of course, don't forget to check out Bobby Anthem and Bobby Blades on the Inhuman Experience. Check them out on Apple Podcasts, all the usual platforms. And if you do check them out, another 2-for-1 because you also get Bobby Anthem searching for his lost soul over there. You want another 2-for-1? Boom, I got you another one. Check out Eric, Doug, and Doug's brother Daniel on Unscripted Wrestling. If you do join the Philly Sports Passion, you will get Unscripted Wrestling. See how these 2-for-1s are working, everybody? That's how they're working. And don't forget to check out Stephen Milan on a Letterboxd, boxd.com/Stephen Milan. This guy's got over 6,000 films he's reviewed, and he is not planning on stopping. And you can follow me and Anthony and Smart. You can follow us on Spreaker, like our Facebook page, facebook.com/DirtSheetDudes. Follow us on Twitter, DirtSheetDudes. You know where to email us, dirtsheetdudes@gmail.com. And if you want all this audio greatness, you can find it on Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Google Podcasts, TuneIn, Player FM, anywhere else. And me and Anthony tomorrow night. That's right. Back here tomorrow night for the Hollywood Hangout.
Yes, sir. And to wrap up the plugs, all of those platforms that you just listed, Box, TuneIn, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play. You can also listen to my boy Jason Clark, the Bottom Line Pro Wrestling Podcast. For all the latest and greatest WWE, NXT, AEW, and everything in between. Basically the shit that we miss. Because even though we do like 18 hours a week of pro wrestling on these podcasts, we can't get to everything because there's like 97 more hours.
Yeah.
So he plugs the holes that we miss.
Well, someone needs to plug the on the holes, Anthony. You got to plug the on the holes.
Box, come on. Yeah. I need a new gimmick, Box. We've run that into the ground, and it's not even that old.
Well, that's kind of what we do on this show. Anyway, all right, that's done. We can actually get into some wrestling now. We were talking SmackDown. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Anthony.
I said, do we have to, man? Like, and I'll be honest, it was actually a toss-up. I'm thinking, like, It's a Friday. Haven't seen a WWE show in a while. Man,
Well,
am I glad I took my ass home, because 10 minutes in, WWE confirmed that I made the right call. You got the show opening with Corbin and that corny at the dog shit, Dolph Ziggler, Bobby Roode. No thank you. No thank you for none of that shit, man. Like, look, I appreciate comedy and wrestling. I don't have a problem with it, actually. But this was not people are paid millions. These motherfuckers are getting paid millions. For millions for shit.
And this might have been the first night that I've agreed with Michael Cole when he said this is embarrassingly bad. I was literally thinking.
I don't think he was that wasn't like a storyline, a kayfabe deal. I think that was him just genuinely saying, like, God, this is horrible.
It was a shoot, brother. I think that might have been a shoot. It was. I know Sasha Baron Corbin. He loved it. It was great, wonderful. There were unicorns and puppies and little kittens everywhere for him dancing around his TV screen. But for me, I felt like I was listening to fucking fingernails grind down a chalkboard in the depths of hell. Thank you. It's Pathetic with Scott and Rybread. Check them out too. He said it was dog shit. Awful.
And you know what it is? I don't know if you get the same vibe. And this is not even shitting on Corbin as much as I just feel like we're watching a bunch of placeholder shit. Like, this is just something to keep Roman busy until we head into WrestleMania season when the important shit starts to happen. I feel like that's where I'm at with it. Everything on the show just felt like a placeholder. Well, there were a few bright spots, but overall, this just felt like a placeholder type of a show with feuds that don't really matter in the big scheme of things.
Well, couldn't you have someone better stand in line for you? I mean, this guy. It's just, I know I've never liked Baron Corbin. I just can't. I don't know what it is. I just don't like the fucking guy. I think he's awful. This whole look, I'm a king now. This is my court. This is my kingdom. Shut the fuck up, you fucking moron. Jesus Christ. Go get another tattoo, you little fuck.
Yeah. And I'm sitting here really trying to think, man, about is there anything about this show that I enjoyed? And the Bryan promo at the end, that was good. But once again, like, you pay to go to these shows. You don't get a match.
I got it.
Like literally, you literally pay for like a 15-minute talking segment to close out the show. I mean, I'm sure they had like a dark match, but once again, dark matches, at least WWE ones, only go about 4 or 5 minutes. So I'm sure they had a quick little, squash match, send the crowd home happy. But I was like confused because coming out of that promo segment, is Bryan a heel now? Is he a tweener? Is he going to the dark side to combat Bray Wyatt? So he's more of a tweener. Like, I felt like that was a little heelish.
I got a question for you. Tell me if you think I'm reaching a little bit here.
All right.
That whole promo was about passion, right?
Yeah.
He said it a ton of times. Passion. Do you think they were trying to go for a little bit of that Cody passion that we had a couple weeks ago with that promo? Now that they're back in the States, because they have been overseas, and do you think they were digging a little bit, trying to just sort of get harness some of that passion in that promo, or do you think I'm reaching and maybe that wasn't what they were doing?
I can see your point. I don't necessarily think they were trying to answer what AEW was doing.
Okay.
But I think that in terms of like that, if you want that level of promo, I feel like Bryan is probably the closest thing that they have on the roster right now that could do that. So I don't know. Do you think that I think that was Bryan just being Bryan, trying to like pull something out of the shit that was this show?
Well, there was some chicken salad in there at least. But
I mean, yeah, like I said, he was my highlight of the show. like I said, despite the fact that, like I said, I felt like it was coming off like a little bit of a heel promo. You disagree?
Yeah.
I do think that he was the highlight of the show.
Definitely. Daniel Bryan usually is the highlight of all of these shows. But I mean, we got a new blue Universal Championship belt from Bray Wyatt tonight. There's a positive, Anthony, right? SmackDown.
Well, blue's my favorite color, but we're reaching now when we're reaching now when you get to the point where it's just like colors or
the belt's on SmackDown.
I'm sorry. Here's another highlight.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
Big E shouting out Megan Thee Stallion.
Big E spread eagle bouncing on the ropes. Don't need to see that anymore. Big E, come on, man. What the fuck you doing, man? You Big E, you're a big dude. The name of your first name is Big for a reason. Don't need to be doing that shit, man. There's no need for it, really.
Now, so really? While we're on the subject of Big E and the New Day, since they didn't really have much of a match, what do you think about Kofi's consolation prize? He's in the back playing with his pancakes. He's a champion again. He's back to having matches that go past 9 seconds. What do you think? Do you think that there's any chance, any possibility that he rises back up to champion level now that Brock Lesnar is on the Raw side of things, or do you think that he's? I don't want to say mid card because New Day. I don't consider New Day a mid card act. They're a main event act. They make for the money they make for the company. So do you think Kofi could kind of claw his way back to the top now that Brock's no longer an issue?
No. I think actually Xavier getting hurt is a bad thing for Kofi. Believe it or not. Because if you look at what they were doing, they weren't letting Kofi go on his own. I'm not going to say that, but they were letting Kofi kind of be his own dude. And it was Big E and Xavier doing all the tag team stuff. I think Xavier getting hurt might have been a bad thing for Kofi because now they got him regulated right back to the tag team division again. Yes, he's champion. I get that. But I just don't think he's going to get back to that same level again. Anything's possible, but I don't see it happening again. I really don't. You?
Yeah, I put it at 50-50 at this point. I put it at 50-50 only because it was actually more like 70-30. But I upped it because, like I said, Brock's on Raw now.
Yeah.
And Bray Wyatt, even though they're like Fiend happy now and he's like the shiny new toy, I like Kofi's chances better in a Bray Wyatt feud versus a Brock Lesnar feud.
Really? I don't know about that. I don't know. I just, like I said, I think Xavier getting hurt just kind of put him right back to where he was. So I feel bad for the guy. I do. I think they had more plans for him, and I think they were like, "Hey, can you help out since your boy's hurt?"
No, and you know what makes that whole thing worse in hindsight? Not only did he lose the title, he get bitched out in like 9 seconds. It was all for naught because Brock literally was only on like 2 episodes of SmackDown, then back to Raw,
then right back to Raw. Exactly.
I mean, like yeah. Literally, that makes the whole thing even more pointless.
Pretty much pointless.
Say if you're gonna bitch the guy out like that, at least keep Brock on this show for at least a good 6 months. Like if you're gonna bitch somebody out like that, I mean, that's just how I would do it. It would be easier to swallow that pill versus, okay, Kofi, we need you to do us a solid here. Allow yourself to be bitched out to this guy. And, he's going to be around. He's going to be like he's going to be the face of the brand. Thank you, but we need you to get bitched out. By the way, 2 weeks later, we're going to ship him back to Raw. Then what the fuck did you need me for?
Well, it's all part of the storyline, Kofi. Come on, you understand. Yeah, I get it. I understand. I know. All right. Can I get my check?
I know he's I know, the power of positivity, and I know Kofi probably tells himself that every time he kind of looks in the mirror. But do you think that's something that bothers him, or do you think that he's like a business guy? Like it is what it is.
I think the checks are clearing. That's all that matters, really. Yeah, that's really all that matters. But
we're pulling out. We're stretching this out, folks, because there was not a lot of good on SmackDown tonight. I'm sorry.
No,
I'm sorry. When Dana Brooke and Carmella are getting extended TV time, it's a piss poor addition to SmackDown. And I'm not trying to pick on the women here, but it felt like they were stretching for time here.
Yeah, but Dana Brooke was looking good. Dana Brooke's looking good. Come on, man. She is. But
she's no Caitlyn, right, Box? No Caitlyn?
No. Close, but no. And I kind of like that women's segment with all the NXT women out there. Once again, that Rhea Ripley, good God, she could throw me around. But just
no, Mia Yams.
Oh, Mia Yim could throw me around too.
No, Mia Yams.
Mia
bro.
Yams.
Mia
There you
Yams.
go. And they all like to just play with their little tongue rings. All these girls. Just don't know how fucking sexy it is. They don't get it. All right.
So that was a pretty dope segment, and we'll get to the women. We're going to be actually talking about the women a lot because NXT was the polar opposite of SmackDown. And I'll be honest, NXT this week, I caught it just before SmackDown. That spoiled me because that was actually my favorite program of the week.
Dude, what did I say? Did you not read the message I sent you? Oh God, SmackDown is going to suck after watching NXT.
Yeah, that NXT this week was fucking badass, man. It flew by. It flew by.
Yeah.
But I guess before we get to that, I'm trying to think. In terms of SmackDown,
Drew Gulak shaved his head.
Yeah, that.
I didn't know it was him. I was like, who is that? Who is that? And then I was like, and then I heard him talk. I'm like, oh shit, that's Drew Gulak.
Dude, we don't want to beat a dead horse because we beat it enough. We've resurrected it and beat that fucker dead again. But Drew, the rise and fall of Drew Gulak, it's just a sad sight to see. And then they got him paired up with the B team. And no disrespect to those guys, but that's career suicide. That pretty much that segment pretty much summed up where Drew Gulak is on a pecking order right now.
Yeah, pretty much.
And it's sad. I mean, I know neither one of us watched a whole lot of 205 Live or the pre-shows, which is where he was prominently featured.
Mm-hmm.
But what we did see in a guy, we were impressed. They had basically reworked his whole gimmick. They had made him a modern-day Dean Malenko, badass, coming to the ring, just no nonsense, just kicking ass, taking names, and not really. He was a heel, but he really wasn't like a chicken shit heel. He was just a badass heel. And if you look at his offense in the ring, he's very credible. He's very believable. And I'm not saying he should be world champion necessarily, but he deserves a hell of a lot better than what he's getting right now. And he's one of those guys that will throw himself into whatever you give him.
Yeah.
He'll make whatever you give him work. But just because you have somebody with that type of talent and ability doesn't mean you should abuse it. And I feel like that's what they do with so many people. They did it. You run down a line of guys they've done it with over the years. Prime example is a guy like Chris Jericho. You know, he for years. To this day, Chris Jericho, I call him Teflon. You can put that dude in any situation and he'll make it work. You could bury him under a fucking ton of bricks and he'll find a way to get over each and every single time.
Yeah.
But just because somebody has that ability doesn't mean you should fucking abuse it. And that's what they do with everybody with every versatile talent that they have, they tend to abuse that right. And I don't think that's cool because I really feel like with Drew Gulak, they got like a diamond in the rough. Not like, once again, not saying he should be a main eventer, but upper mid card at the very least.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. And you know what? We might not have seen him a lot on 205 Live, but he was going back and forth to NXT also, which is where we were getting a lot more of exposure because we were watching NXT more. And then suddenly he gets called up, and what? I feel bad for the guy. I hope he can work through this with his charisma. Like everyone's saying in the chat room, he's got this really good charisma. I agree. maybe when they see that, they'll be like, hey, Jesus, we've been wasting our time with this. So hopefully they'll see something in him. I mean, let's face it. If you put Drew Gulak, stand him next to Baron Corbin has one thing on him. He's taller.
Yeah.
That's it. Drew Gulak can talk better. He can wrestle better. He has actual emotions. He has charisma. Corbin's got none of that, and they still love the fucking guy. But I digress.
But remember, you forgot, Box. You forgot the most important thing.
What?
Corbin plants people really, really safely. He takes care of people in the ring.
Yeah. Hasn't hurt anyone yet. Oh, great.
Look, we always try to find positives, and that's a positive. He hadn't broken any necks yet.
Yeah. Well, my car's not running, but I haven't crashed it yet. I mean, see how stupid it sounds, Anthony. All right.
Yeah, yeah, that was SmackDown, folks.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I can't be overly positive. Oh, the one thing I will say this: they did get me hyped up for Survivor Series because they announced that they're going to do Daniel Bryan and The Fiend for the belt. That should be like the Survivor Series. I gotta say, this year I have not been this excited for Survivor Series in a long, long ass time, bro. Top to bottom, this is looking like a can't miss show.
Yeah, definitely. Sacha Baron Corbin said this company pushes the wrong Drew. You're right, they are. They're pushing McIntyre over Gulak. It's not the right. No. Switch it. But yeah, man, the Survivor Series is looking good. That's usually my favorite. I actually like the Survivor Series matches. I like those elimination style matches. So that always one of my favorite ones to watch. So definitely.
Yeah, and that's gonna be a dope ass weekend for wrestling because the day before you got NXT Takeover, the War Games, and you're gonna get in War Games, man. That's always been one of my favorite matches all time. So you're gonna have a women's version and a men's version, but like I said, both shows are being built up pretty well. I'm just hoping, especially for the sake of the USA show, hoping NXT comes out of this looking good. Because in the build-up, I gotta say, they've been booked pretty strongly.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, the War Games match, you want to know what I'm looking forward to most?
The women?
Yes, sir.
Because it's the first. I mean, this is the
Nope.
This is the one time where I will give WWE credit for pushing the first gimmick because these women have been beating the dog shit out of each other.
These women have been. I even put in the fucking message thing that these women are making the men look like they've got the fucking vaginas in NXT. Dude, these two women's matches on this show were brutal. These women are fucking laying shit in and killing each other to get noticed. And you know what? It's coming through on the screen because I am more excited. I know there's I know the men's match is going to be great, but I am really excited to see these women fucking get in there and brawl. So I'm happy for that, man. And yeah, you know what? Keep pushing the first thing, over the first women's good, because that's going to be a hell of a match. And I do not think any of those women are going to disappoint in that fucking ring, man.
Fuck it. You have anything else on SmackDown?
No, move on. Go to NXT.
Yeah. Let's go to NXT. Like I said earlier, this was easily my favorite show of the week, and we got it. They got things started off nicely with the cruiserweight title match with Angel Garza, and Leo Rush. Man, this was a fantastic fucking match. Man.
Yeah, dude, I'm liking Garza. I like this guy. He's a real cocky little heel, and I like him.
Can we point out one thing? I mean, I know Mauro Ranallo is hot and cold with some people, but and I defend him as much as I can, but he had one of the cringiest lines, and this is before the bell even rang. So Garza, who I thought was a heel, was coming out. He was tagging hands, and he stopped for the old lady. She gave him a kiss, and it was like, oh, that was nice of him. Made the old lady's day. Do you know Mauro Ranallo, this motherfucker? He goes, ladies love Garza. much like they did Cool James, and I was just like, Jesus Christ, bro! Like that was the most awful. Like, look, I know you try to squeeze in pop culture references and all that shit, but that was douchey. I'm sorry, bro.
Shoehorned in there, man. That was awful.
That was terrible. I'm sorry, bro. I love Morrow. I love his energy. I love his passion. But that was probably the cringiest line that I've heard from him in quite some time.
Yeah. Now, the one thing I really caught from this match, number one, like I said, I'm really liking this Alex Garza guy. He's
Angel,
and Angel Garza. I'm sorry. And Booker T compared this guy to Eddie Guerrero on his show. And you know what? I got to tell you something. I see that comparison much more than a Sammy Guevara. This guy's got charisma. This Angel Garza.
That I will agree with.
Yep.
You hear people in wrestling talk about it. You can't explain it, but when you see it, you know it.
He's got that machismo, Anthony.
I won't say. I mean, let's see him have a career first. But I will admit he does have presence.
True,
and he has something. Yeah. He has something about him where you can see if they kind of nurture it and they actually give him room to breathe and grow.
Right, and
he has the potential to be that Latin star. That Latino star that they've been literally trying to find since Eddie passed away. Because Mysterio had it to a point, but Mysterio didn't have Eddie's charisma.
How many masks?
He didn't have that special something.
Yeah, and how many masks can you sell? I mean, really, eventually people just stop buying the mask. But basically, he was comparing it with his charisma, his attitude, his mannerisms. You can definitely. He looks like he's been watching a few videos. I'll put it that way. But yeah, really liking him. And the main move I noticed from this match is Lio Rush went for some stupid move off the bottom rope, where he sat on the bottom rope and sprung off of it.
It was almost like a springboard stunner. But look, dude, it was more accurate than the fucking one Cena was hitting for a couple. It was way more accurate.
Garza just fucking drop kicked him in the back of the head, and it did not get timed right. I can tell you that right now. It looked harsh. Did you saw that, right?
Yeah.
Dude, that's some whiplash shit right there, dude. That's some whiplash shit right there, man. That's the shit that'll send you to the hospital, you know?
No, but honestly, it was a lot of, the psychology of the match. It was a spot fest, but I enjoyed it because it actually called upon. They did a spot where they actually did a callback to last week when Garza smacked the shit out of Rush. Yeah, and that actually played into the finish. So I enjoyed. Did you pick up on that?
Yeah, I did.
That was cool. That was a cool little moment.
Yeah, I agree, man. Look, like I said, I really like this show. I thought this was an incredible, and like you said, it did fly right the fuck by. Before I knew it, that shit was over.
Now, based off of this match, and I ain't even gonna cut you off, but this kind of just popped in my head. Mm-hmm. Would you say that in terms of like more cohesive wrestling and psychology and storytelling, that NXT has that over AEW? In terms of like the matches, like don't get me wrong, I love the action of AEW. Maybe it's because it's like still fresh to me. But when I watch NXT, even though it can be a little bland sometimes because it's like too wrestling heavy, I do feel like I'm more emotionally involved from beginning to end in terms of the match quality.
I would say NXT has it over AEW and WWE at times. Both companies, even their own company, they've got it over both of their Raw and SmackDowns. And AEW every now and then has really good, you got Jericho that can tell that story in the ring always. Omega, I think, actually pretty much every time he's in the ring, he's telling a story, and I like that about him. And you know what? They have 3 guys that can do that. I also think Pac is one of those guys that can do the same thing. But you also got to be in there with the right guy to do that. Number one, but I'm with you, man. These NXT guys and girls go out there and they've got that fucking ring psychology. I like it, man. I love it. And I think it, again, another thing that comes across to the fucking camera and to the audience that you can tell. They're not just throwing matches together to fucking hold time, and they're giving you a reason for every match and why it's happening. So
yeah, like every there was a lot of cohesion on this show.
Mm-hmm.
There was a lot of cohesion. There was no wasted motion. A lot of times, and like I said, I'm willing to give them some more time because they're a young company. They're still trying to find their way. But a lot of times it feels like it's just matches for the sake of having matches. Oh, Private Party versus the Young Bucks. Oh, Sammy Guevara versus Cody, where there's really no storyline implication or anything. It's just a match to fill time, a match for the sake of having a match. And don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with that every now and then. But the whole show shouldn't be like that. There should be like an overarching story to kind of like, because like even back in the day during like the Monday Night War era, once Raw really got on a roll and started to get super ahead of WCW in the ratings, it felt like every show, even if it was a bad episode, because not every episode was gold, but it seemed like every episode had an overarching theme to it.
Yeah.
And it had like one thing that kind of tied everything together.
Yeah. Yeah, it did. And this show definitely, a lot of shit on this show was tied together. And, I mean, starting here, we've been talking about the women a lot, Anthony. Right here, we start with the women's stuff right here, where a camera, was in the back, and they found Tegan Nox and Rhea Ripley both attacked and knocked out. But then we get a fucking incredible women's match, dude, with Xia Li and Aaliyah.
We'll go with Aaliyah.
Aaliyah, okay.
Rest in peace to the Princess of R&B, by the way.
There you go.
Hell yeah. But I don't know much about that Aaliyah chick, but god damn, she a tough bitch.
Yeah, it was that second kick, dude. It was that final roundhouse that broke her nose. I think she broke her nose.
Bro, like, I mean, I remember Smart had posted it on the Messenger.
Yeah.
And on Wednesday, and obviously neither one of us had a chance to watch SmackDown. I mean NXT, because we had a show to do. But I'm thinking like, it's a meme. I didn't think it was real. But goddamn, seeing that match, they were laying some shit in.
Yeah, and I gotta tell you that Aaliyah, she ain't much fucking bigger than Riho. You know what? She looks like she weighs 90 pounds. And Xia Li is not she's not a tiny girl at all. I mean, this match was great. I'm not going to lie, but a lot of this match was Xia Li, in my opinion.
Yeah, well, it was a showcase for her.
True.
But
it should have been.
But it was a showcase for her, but do you think that coming out of it, because the injury is going to get some buzz?
Yep.
Do you think they might have stumbled and they might have stepped in shit and created another star? That somebody that wasn't necessarily supposed to get over might have benefited, almost like a Becky situation.
Probably.
Becky and Nia Jax.
Yeah.
But on a smaller level, because I feel like Aaliyah could gain from this.
Yeah, she'll gain a little bit of a little traction off of this. Oh, excuse me. Jesus Christ. Sorry about that, guys. She'll gain a little traction off of this, which is fine. She should. She took a hell of a fucking kick to the face, man. And it just looked like she had her hand up, but it looked like her hand went into her face, and then the foot went into the face after the hand went across the face. She just got fucked up on that move, and it just looked brutal.
This Xia Li, you know what we're going to call her?
Bruce Lee?
No. We're going to call her... No, we're going to call her RVD with tits. Because that was RVD's deal. He just he had kick pads on. He still would kick the shit out of people.
Yeah, ask Abyss and his dentist.
Jesus.
Yep.
But is it safe to say that WWE, at least on the American side of things, has the more well-rounded women's division of anybody right now?
Dude, I'm going to tell you, I think honestly the best women's division right now is NXT.
Which is technically WWE.
Right, but I think the actual NXT brand right now has the best women. Listen, when we're going through all of this stuff with the, finger quote, invasion angle, with NXT invading Raw. Who's the main person that you're seeing on that? And I mean, out of everybody, Shayna Baszler is really the main person there. It looks like they're trying to get over with this whole thing, in my opinion.
They're trying to basically build her up as the leader. Now, real quick, hold on to that thought box.
Sure.
Sasha Baron Corbin, shout out to you, bro. He's bringing up in the chat Vanessa Bourne. I do not know who this woman is. She calls Xia Li the sloppiest person in the locker room. Now, based off of this match, because I didn't get that vibe that she was sloppy. I just get the vibe that she likes to work stiff. Did you get that vibe in this match that she was sloppy? Because her shit looked crisp to me.
She looked fine to me. I will say, if you do not follow Xia Li on Instagram, you should be. Trust me, you'll thank me later. But I'm going to say I have not seen a ton of this girl's matches, so I'm not 100%. This match didn't look sloppy to me. She did a double kick. So, Vanessa Bourne is is Aaliyah's bodyguard. Okay, I got you.
Oh, got you. Thank you, Sasha.
The
other chick that was out there with her. Got you.
Tamina too. Sorry, but dude, she looks. I'm sorry. I thought it was Tamina for a second. I'm like, did Tamina show up here? Nope, wasn't Tamina. I didn't see her as. Maybe she is. I've never been in the ring, so I don't know. But she looked fine to me.
Yeah, I hope this doesn't lead to another one of these promos, work shoot promos. You're shitty in the ring. We have a code. Yeah, we don't need to see any more of that shit.
No, not at all. But then we got a little more of the Finn Balor. We got some Finn Balor, a little more war game set up here. Johnny Gargano came out. We had Matt Riddle come out.
No, Matt Riddle came out.
Matt Riddle.
Johnny Gargano. I think.
I'm sorry. Balor was mocking
Gargano. He's actually dealing with some injuries.
Yeah,
and that whole beatdown was a storyline reason to get him off TV for a while so he can heal up.
Yeah, I got ahead of my notes there. And then Riddle chased Balor out of the ring. He got surrounded by Undisputed Era, but Keith Lee came out, and I'm telling you right now, man, the more I see this Keith Lee guy, the more I like this guy. The more I wish I watched him more in the indies because he's great, dude. He is great.
Man's a monster. And let me tell you something. When a man that big, that powerful, that can move like that tells you he don't give a damn, you better damn well listen.
I know, man.
I know it was a promo and all that, but damn, he said that with such conviction.
He's right,
you believed he was ready to whoop somebody's ass.
I got no questions he would whoop some ass, that guy right there, man. And you're right, man. A guy that big that can move that fast and do the agile things that he does. I mean, guy's, what is he, almost 400 pounds doing fucking moonsaults that look like a fucking cruiserweight's doing them.
Yeah. Now, let me ask you this, because you mentioned Undisputed Era, and this kind of ties into the next match. And I want to see if we're on the same page here, or maybe it might be down the line. So basically, Keith Lee cuts the promo. He gets into it with Adam Cole. Mm-hmm. Roderick Strong pipes up.
Who?
And basically, it's Roderick Strong.
Who? Keith, are you saying Keith Lee had a match?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought he was just in there doing shit by himself.
It was a good match, man. You didn't enjoy that match?
I just
with him and Roddy?
I can't watch me some Roderick Strong.
No, but hear me out here.
No, I started playing I started playing my boxing game. Every time Keith Lee did something, I just kind of rewound it. I was like, oh, I missed it. Missed something. Okay, there we go. Play.
All right, hear me out on this.
All right, good.
So they were trying to tell a story that Roddy was going to step up for his buddy because Adam Cole has been working hard. He beat Daniel Bryan clean. He took it to Seth Rollins. He's been basically like one of the figureheads of this whole invasion of Raw and SmackDown. So he said, you take the night off, boss. I got this. Now, when you look at this match, right? Mm-hmm. Obviously, Roddy was the heel. Keith Lee is the face. Could you see 6 months down the line, a year down the line, they do this with the roles reversed? Because Keith Lee, as big as he is, I know he's agile, so he's always going to get like babyface reactions. Mm-hmm. But he definitely, I see like a monster heel in there somewhere. And the way they kind of played this match, if you didn't know what what side of the fence they were playing on, you almost felt like you were watching a babyface chop down a big monster heel at different points in this match.
Yeah, at some points you did. At some points. Again, I didn't see a lot of the match. I got to be honest with you. I was playing Boxing Star. Doing good, too. But I didn't see a ton of this match. But once again, I just think that goddamn Keith Lee is fucking great. Absolutely a great fucking guy in the ring. And I definitely think you're going to get Monster Heel out of him eventually.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be hard as fuck to Buddha guy. But I'm assuming they're going to have him work in more of a slower pace. I hope they don't slow his style down because that's what makes him stand out. But at the same time, if he's going to go heel, they want to take away all babyface reactions. So that'll be interesting. I think he can pull off the heel role well, but I hope that it doesn't drastically alter his offense too much.
Yeah. I totally agree with that.
Keith Lee won, by the way, so that was the right call.
Keith Lee did win. We had the Undisputed Era started attacking everybody. Dominik Dijakovic, I got it now, came down, and that guy's another anomaly.
A beast. Beast of a man.
Another anomaly, dude, that a big, tall, jack dude that can do all those fucking agile cruiserweight moves. I like that guy, too. And he kind of turned face tonight, joining Ciampa's War Games team.
Yep, and he basically replaced Matt Riddle because we found out that Matt Riddle was going to be taken out of the match and put in a match with Finn Balor, which I'm actually looking forward to.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that too. We forgot to mention that. Yeah, Riddle is going to be in they had a match. I think it was just a singles match, but that's going to be a badass match right there.
Yeah, it's going to be a singles match. So basically, Dijakovic replaced Matt Riddle in War Games, and Tommaso Ciampa's team still needs one more member. And before we go any further, Fox, what did you think about the theme of the show with the women getting attacked in the parking lot? Because that was like the interwoven theme of the night, that the women were getting attacked.
I liked it. And we even got a quick glimpse of Scarlett Bordeaux, if you didn't notice. Yeah, quick. She was looking over at Candice LeRae. We did see that. I liked it. I liked the whole thing. By the way, the Matt Riddle Finn Balor match is the winner will be dubbed the best abs in the business. I'm kidding. That's a joke. But it's going to be who's got the better six pack. But literally, I did like the all the women stuff. Again, man, I think these women are out there just working their ass off. They're doing everything they can to be the real women's revolution is on NXT.
Hells yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, if we're keeping up with, I don't know if we mentioned this earlier, but Lio Rush retained against Angel Garza, and Xia Li, after caving Aaliyah's shit in, won her match.
Oh yeah, and we're not done with the beatings yet, folks. We're out, but you're right though. Right after this little whole thing with the Ciampa thing, Jessamine Duke, Marina Shafir, Candice LeRae were all found beaten up outside. Still don't know who did it. And then we get this match with Isaiah Swerve Scott and Bronson Reed. Once again, Bronson Reed. This is what this guy is a brute, dude. Who was
Bronson Reed? Before we even get there, did you notice the one dude with the CM Punk shirt on?
He's at every NXT, dude. That's
the first time I know. And that dude, he irked my life. I mean, look, I'm all for fan involvement and being happy and excited at the shows. I'll never begrudge somebody for being happy and excited at a show. But for some reason, this guy just irked my entire life.
He's at every NXT show, along with the dude that's dressed like Hulk Hogan. He's at every NXT show, front row, hard camera side. But that dude in the Punk shirt is at every and he gets right in their faces. He's gonna get hit one day.
Yeah, he was like uncomfortably close. You ever been in a situation where you feel like somebody's just uncomfortably close in somebody's like personal space?
Yeah, very much. Yeah, Punk would beat the shit out of this guy, probably. He'd turn around and clock him.
Well, hey, look at the bright side there. At least Punk could be somebody.
Yeah, he'd be 1 and 2. Good job, Punk. Anyway, this made me happy. Pete Dunne and Killian Dane were supposed to have a match, but Damian Priest just attacked before the match could start, took both men down, plus a bunch of security guys. Damian Priest, hats off to you, sir. Thank you, sir. You saved me a lot of trouble.
Okay, you saved some. You didn't have to have your finger on the fast forward button, huh?
No, my finger. Yeah, get it? Finger. Yeah.
Yeah, I got you. Now, Bob. Now, you mentioned. I can't let you gloss over that one.
Why?
Isaiah Swerve Scott. What'd you think of that match with dude's name?
Oh, who was Bronson Reed on the? Was he a wrestler before?
Let me look up. Probably was.
I like this guy. He's a huge guy.
He's a serious Otis.
What? Yeah. He is a huge motherfucker, but he is. I'm not going to say he's as agile as Keith Lee, but this is a pretty agile big guy also. All right, he was one of the Australian guys they brought in. Okay, that makes sense. Thank you, Sacha Baron Corbin. One of the Australian guys they brought in. I like this guy, man. And I like Isaiah Swerve Scott too, so I actually liked it. I thought this was a good match. Little weird with the little guy getting the pin, but what are you gonna do? It's wrestling, man.
No, plus I feel like they see a little more in Swerve because he's obviously great in the ring, very athletic, very agile, and also he has more charisma.
Yeah, definitely.
So I don't think it's a slight, but I just feel like in terms of like who they see more upside in, it's in Scott.
Yeah, probably. Fuck it, let's go ahead and hit this main event, and then we'll fucking blow NXT out of the or NWA out of the water. God, too many letters in wrestling now.
Yeah. Listen to Wednesday's show, trying to keep up with AWA, and it's a lot to keep up with these initials in wrestling nowadays,
I know,
bro.
Man. Too many fucking letters. Just pick 3 letters, and there's a wrestling company named after it. I don't know. Fucking go ahead. Fuck it. Now this match, like we said, we're not done with the fucking beatings, everybody. Io Shirai and Mia Yim in a ladder match for the advantage in the women's War Games match. Dude, these two, and by the way, one more time, I just want to say something. Mia Yim, hot as fuck. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. But this,
Dams.
Yeah, these two fucking girls, man, went out there and just, I don't know if before the match they said, you feel like maybe we might want to die tonight? Okay, let's see. Let's try to kill each other. Fuck it. And damn did they, dude. Mia Yim got badly busted open in this match. I think it was the ladder. I forgot what did it. I want to say it was Io Shirai did a springboard drop kick into the ladder. Yes, into the ladder, and it was
that fucking spot was insane, bro.
Yep, that was the one. But these two girls worked their ass off, dude.
Yeah, that's a match I'm definitely going to watch again, especially the bump she took at the end, Mia Yim, through the ladder. For a chick, that was a fucking pretty insane bump to take. Yeah,
and for a minute there, Io Shirai had a sort of stall for time when the doctors were in there looking at Mia Yim, and you saw that referee Jessica Carr go over and basically tell Io Shirai the whole finish of the match that they changed up. So. But Io Shirai did good killing time. She pretended that she hurt her hand trying to climb the ladder, and I think that was about as believable as you could get for a wrestling match where shit was kind of going a little south. You know what I mean?
Yeah, damn, that's a good catch, Box. God damn.
What, you didn't catch that?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, well,
you're getting very analytical in your old age.
Yeah,
breaking shit down.
You know what it is? I'm waiting till I used to start drinking before the show. Now I'm waiting till we start this show, and then I'm drinking. So I'm sober watching. You can trust me, but by the end of this show, I'm not. But, watching these shows lately, I've been pretty sober. So that's a good thing. But, yeah, I definitely caught that. And Io Shirai won the match with the help of, I believe it was Dakota Kai helped her. Or Kaylee Ray. Who was it?
Kaylee Ray. Because that's the UK champion, correct?
Yeah. Her. Yeah. And great. But, I mean, this match was great. This show was fucking great. I think I'm with Anthony. This might have been the best show of the week right here. Was this NXT show?
And there's more.
Oh,
because we get a surprise Bayley appearance, which was very cool. Because I feel like, look, I want to say it was on Raw last week when Becky and Shayna Baszler had their face off, and everybody was praising the shit out of it, including us. And Bayley felt like almost like an add-on, unnecessary an add-on.
Yeah.
I feel like they kind of like reestablished her a little bit with this one here, because she felt like such an afterthought in the entire build up to this thing.
Yeah,
that they had to give her something. They had to give her a moment to shine.
They threw her a bone. They'll throw you a bone. Go ahead. No, weebs. There is no DSD wellness policy right now. I'm going to use that time to my advantage. Take it easy, buddy. Don't give anyone ideas here, okay?
Yeah, Box is like the Triple H of this show. He doesn't get tested.
Well, you know what you're going to find. I mean, lots of THC and lots of fucking alcohol. Maybe some Xanax every now and then. But, that's the worst. But on that note, NXT over NWA?
I'm trying to think. Do you think Bayley was the one that was responsible for all the attacks?
Oh, Bayley.
Or do you think they're gonna go back to that? Like, who was responsible? Because I was actually kind of like intrigued by that, because you didn't see Bayley was the only surprise appearance from the main roster that we had this week. But it seems like with the amount of people that they showed taken out, it seemed like she would have to have help. It would have to be like a group, like at least like two other people.
Yeah, I'm sure it was probably Bayley, Sasha, and someone else, but I don't know. But Bayley should be involved in it. Send Boxman with the limo, and we can both be tested. Scott Steiner.
You remember that quote, right?
Yeah, send Triple H in the limo, and we can both get tested. Yeah, I remember that line.
Oh, that's awesome.
I do remember that line. Sometimes the brain is firing on all cylinders. Sometimes, not all the time. But they do need to make sure Bayley's involved in it a little bit. I don't know who they're going to have out there actually saying they did it. I hope they revisit it. I think NXT is smart enough to do that. I'm not sure. I mean, that's something WWE would forget, but I think they will. I think they'll definitely go back to it, and we'll find out what happened there. I said, NXT is good about completing storylines a lot of times.
Yeah, and I guess to wrap this NXT discussion up, because this was just a badass show. Do you think, and I'm almost being halfway sarcastic here, but I'm hoping, do you think WWE would have the balls, since I don't think titles aren't even going to be on the line of Survivor Series, do you think they would have the balls to give NXT a clean sweep over Raw and SmackDown, considering that they're trying to get the ratings up for NXT on USA?
Oh, that's a tough one. I don't think so.
Because you got to figure, like, out of all of the combinations of matches, they got AJ, Roderick Strong, and Nakamura. They got Bayley, Shayna, and Becky. They got fucking Undisputed Era, War Machine, and the New Day. Out of those, and those are big time matches.
True.
I can't see NXT necessarily doing a clean sweep, even though I think that'd be the ultimate stamp of approval on them.
Right.
But I can't see them losing everything. Like, out of those matches, who do you think from NXT gets the win? Because somebody from the NXT side of things has to leave that pay-per-view with bragging rights.
Yeah. Man, it's tough because, like, I mean, the Shayna match that's a triple threat. I could see her winning. I could see Shayna winning that match. Who else did you say?
You got Nakamura, AJ, and Roderick Strong.
If they were smart, that would be a Nakamura win. If they were smart, that's the guy they're trying to build right now.
AJ's kind of like, he's another guy, Teflon. He,
Yeah, it doesn't matter if he loses, and but I would like Nakamura to win that one. Nobody wants a fucking Roderick Strong to win shit, dude. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, we don't got to go deep into it because we say that for the prediction show. I was just kind of curious because the build up NXT out of all three brands, NXT's been booked the strongest.
Yeah,
on a more consistent basis, and I'm not even mad with Undisputed Era getting laid out because you can't completely bitch out Raw and SmackDown. They have to get something. So I'm actually happy that they've actually kept it pretty fair.
Yeah.
But I like that NXT's been the dominant brand. But it almost makes me scared because going into the pay-per-view, you got to know that NXT's going to take some lumps. I'm just hoping it's not irreversible lumps.
I don't think it will be. I don't think it will be. I think Triple H would be aware of something like that. So hopefully, that I could probably hear. I mean, I wouldn't doubt hearing stories of him and Vince in the back having arguments, but I think Triple H would be aware of something like that. But Anthony, to wrap up this NXT conversation, let's get into Wednesday's ratings real quick, and then we'll jump into NWA. How's that sound?
Yes, sir.
All right, because these ratings, I mean, did two shows. AEW Dynamite did 957,000, and NXT did 750,000.
Closing that gap.
Yeah, but this is the sixth or seventh week in a row. AEW's taking them. Don't read too much into this because after the holidays, I think is where it's really going to be, where people are going to start making choices of who they're going to watch every Wednesday. But AEW right now is looking pretty good. And again, this just my phone. Sorry about that, everybody. AEW is looking pretty good. I mean, this could just be still that, new car smell, but who knows? It could wear off, right?
Yeah, right. But I mean, like I said, we'll see because AEW, I feel like we're still in that honeymoon phase. And at the end of the day, that honeymoon phase is going to wear off. And it's going to come down to needing more substance. We said it early with NXT. There's more cohesion there. There's more of a focus. AEW, can they maintain that week in and week out, week in and week out? You can't have a car crash every week.
No, I realize that, and I don't think their show has been a car crash every week. AEW, I think it has been a great show. I think the fact that they're not going with that WWE formula of let's start off with a promo, then we'll go to a backstage segment, then we'll end with this beep beep boop boop beep 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 boop robot shit, dude. AEW is going a little kind of all over the place,
Yeah, so they're basically throwing shit at the wall, see what sticks.
It's what you got to do, man. Listen, that's how you work it, bro. Seriously.
and I will give credit where it's due. I don't think we mentioned. Did we mention it on Wednesday with the Orange Cassidy in the bathroom randomly?
Yeah, we did. That was because I said this guy literally is one of the most over people on the show, and he does nothing.
He gets paid well for it. Beautiful. Beautiful. I want that guy's agent. I want that guy, whoever that guy's business manager is. That's who I want to be on my team.
Dude, this guy's right up there with, right up there with, and again, I'm not comparing the two, but he's up there with Joey Ryan. Those are two guys who, when they get older, will still be walking.
No, he's right up there. I feel like he's in competition with he's in competition with like a guy like Kevin Nash for like I want to do the least and make the most.
Well,
I mean, yeah, but hey, look, that's why Kevin Nash is one of the smartest men in wrestling.
yeah, but Kevin Nash took a few bumps at least here and there. I'm not sure I've seen Owen Cassidy take that many.
What did Jim Cornette always say about Nash? He had 6 moves, including a hair flip. That was fucking amazing. The hair flip counts as a move.
That man, Cornette does have some gems every now and then, man.
But he did flip his hair, and honestly, I didn't even notice it until I forgot what I was watching. But it was a Kevin Nash match was on a card, and I didn't even. The minute I saw that hair flip, I swear to you that Jim Cornette quote just popped in my head.
See, Cena should have grown his hair because he could have got a whole nother move out of it. The 7th move of doom. There we go. We could have had that. It could have been something, man. Could have been cool.
All right, so
NWA.
Ready to talk some NWA power?
Yes, Anthony, I am NWA power. Anthony, do you know how happy I was how this show started off? Guess.
You like an 8 out of a 10 or a 10 out of a 10? Because yes, you probably were referring to the fact that the Rock and Roll Express opened up the show.
Goddamn right they did. Ricky's out there with all this fucking passion and pouring the promo out, and then fucking Robert gets up there and goes. I was like, what the fuck did Robert just say? He can't even see. Now I can't understand what he's saying. What the fuck?
And look, you talk about doing nothing. I love how Ricky Morton, 63 years old, God bless him, and I'm gonna put him over, box, so bear with me.
You better.
He's out there doing all this crazy shit, and Robert's just he's just chilling in the cut. Happy as a pig and shit, just happy to be along for the ride.
Just wait,
motherfucker. Yep. You go ahead and take that. If you want to do that crazy, you can do that crazy shit if you want to.
Yep.
I'll come in, give me the hot tag. I'll throw a couple punches, and I'll be in and out. I just think it's insane to me. It's insane to me that Ricky is taking all the bumps, and Robert is just along for the fucking ride. Take the glory. He'll take the check and the glory, but he won't take a bump. He won't. Where's his Canadian Destroyer at? Why is he not coming off the top rope, bro?
Nobody wants to see that shit, dude. Everybody wants to see Ricky do that shit. Bro, Robert was there for one thing even back in the 80s. To get the hot tag, go in there, win the match, and get the fuck out of there. That was it.
Look, I respect. I mean, obviously, Rock and Roll Express, much respect. They before my time. I wasn't the biggest fan, but even as a kid watching that match, it always just boggled my mind. I never understood Robert Gibson's purpose. Because Ricky Morton, he'd be selling, he'd be doing his thing, and it was exciting. It was cool. You get that hot tag to Robert, not to say that he was bad in the ring necessarily, but he didn't have that same energy. Mm-hmm. To this day, he doesn't have that same energy that Ricky Morton had. No.
But he's still badass, dude. They're fucking great.
There's a reason why Ricky Morton challenged for the world title and Robert Gibson didn't.
Like I said, Robert went up there and cut his promo. Kill it, right? Hell yeah.
Hey, rock and roll.
He may as well just come out there. Fucking fried taters. Yeah, well, thank you, Robert. Anyway, back to you, Ricky.
Please, Ricky, say this segment.
Yeah. And he will. You know he will. But, yeah, started off great, in my opinion. Then we had Homicide and Kingston came out and gave props to the Rock and Roll Express because you motherfucking better. Plain and simple.
Yeah, and the only thing I can say about that is Homicide is fucking Homicide. Awesome. Yeah. Eddie, I don't know how familiar you are with Eddie Kingston, man, but the more I see this guy, I'm like, why couldn't this guy why could he be 10 years younger? Getting a run, man, because just off of promo ability alone, you're not going to find anybody more credible, more believable out there than Eddie Kingston.
No, absolutely not. And, I don't know a lot about him, but I like his promos, and I love the fact that he just lets the New York fly out of him and doesn't hold it back. I love that. Homicide does the same thing when he's on the mic too, but I love that shit. And fucking Eddie Kingston is great, and I don't know a lot about him. Wish I knew more about him. I guess I can go on YouTube and learn more about him. But Weeble, you will lose a staring contest with Robert Gibson. No, he'll lose because he's looking the other way. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. But anyway, where were we, Anthony? I lost my place.
We were talking about the greatness of Eddie Kingston.
Yes, Eddie Kingston.
YouTube, you will do your homework.
I need to because I would like to see that guy younger too. Meanwhile, I don't feel like he's bad at all in the ring. Doesn't look to me like he's lost a
he's
step.
not bad at all. But he's at that point now where he's been around for a long ass time, and
right.
I don't know how long. I don't know how much gas he feels like he has left in the tank, but he's a lot closer to the end than he is the beginning, and he's one of those guys that I wish. WWE right now, they're signing indie guys left and right. He's a guy that would greatly benefit. He would greatly benefit their performance center as a coach when he's ready to kind of wrap it up. Him and Homicide actually, and I think that'll be where he ends up, kind of like a Steve Corino, because there's a lot of guys on the indies that have been around 10, 15 years that for a lot of different reasons never got their chance. They never got their CM Punk moment or Daniel Bryan moment to really break away from the pack, right? But have a lot to offer. They have a lot to offer, a lot to pass down. Homicide alone, he's trained the majority of the indies that a lot of the guys that you see coming up now. Yeah, they have their Homicide has his fingerprints on them. He's like very influential that way. So I feel like that'll be the future for those guys.
I think, and I'm not 100% sure, I think when we had, when me and Shaheen had Homicide on the other show, I think he said that was kind of where he wanted his career to end up, as being an NXT coach. I think it was him. Now that we're mentioning it, Shaheen may remember that interview. I might have to go back and listen to that interview and find out if I'm right or wrong. I have it, so I can check it out. But and you can also, and you know what? You can check that out. You can go check it out on Shout Engine if you want. Just look up THT Podcast. It's there. So,
thank you, Weebs, with the facts. So Kingston's 37, been wrestling since 2002. Wow. So 37 is not incredibly old, but
no, it's only it's 17 years. That's not bad.
Yeah, they signed AJ damn near 40, but I mean, look, it's not too late. WWE, if you're listening, if you're within the sound of my voice, sign Eddie Kingston. Give him a 5-year run, 5-6-year run, bro. He'll give you gold.
Oh, yeah.
Gold, I say.
Oh, yeah. Now, speaking of gold, Anthony.
Yes, sir.
We get the first match. Trevor fucking Murdoch versus Caleb Conley.
This was a good match.
I like this Caleb guy. Trevor Murdoch, I don't care. I know the guy's a big fat tub of goo and he ain't that good, but he's a good throwback to the old NWA days, man.
No, Trevor, he's gotten bigger. But which is an understatement. But
yeah, you're being nice.
I know. I was, his WWE run, I actually was a fan of him because he was different. Because he came up during that time period where he was in better shape then, but he still stood out because he wasn't a muscle guy. He never was a muscle guy.
Yeah.
But he was, like you said, he was a throwback to a different generation, a different time period.
Yep.
He wrestled like it, but he also had a unique charisma about him. I can't put my finger. Once again, that it factor. Something about him that made him stand out. Mm-hmm. Him and Lance Cade. Hell of a good underrated tag team.
Yeah, good tag team there. I remember those. Now, after that match, Trevor Murdoch did win that match, which I was a little shocked. I figured they'd be trying to get the young guy over. And the young guy's pretty damn good in the ring, so thought that might have been the plan, but what do I know?
I don't know. I think Weaves might be underselling him here. He's saying Trevor is 6'4", 260. I would go at least 275.
I would go 310. Anyway, but We had Aaron Stevens come out. And basically, he quits. He quits, Anthony. You know what, Anthony? I can't do this justice. So you know what we're going to do, right?
We're going to play the promo, aren't we?
I'm going to play it, goddammit, because I can't do it justice. I love this guy. So
on NWA Power, ladies and gentlemen, Aaron Stevens.
Hold
hey,
on.
Google, start the holidays.
Fucking ad. An ad. You believe that shit?
You fucked up.
Yeah.
You fucked up.
Oh, an ad popped up. What am I supposed to do? Here we go.
Stevens.
I'm not even going to talk about the no eye contact rule because it's not going to be needed. As you can see, I started to get dressed for this evening's show, and I am here to announce that I'm done. I am finished. I am no longer part of the NWA. I am no longer part of
Way to give the people what they want.
I am no longer part of professional wrestling. What happened here last week was a miscarriage of justice. Well, it's obvious why Broadway isn't located in Hotlanta. I am finished. I am done. I quit. I am going to go back to that locker room. I am going to go put my pants on. And right now, in front of you, these miscreants, God, and everybody, I am going to hit this button, which will confirm my new role in Shogun of Malibu, and I'm going back to California, never to return to this hellhole again. So, in the words of my great-great-great-great-great-grandfather, I bid you all a fond adieu.
I like that guy. I like that guy, damn it. What do you think, Anthony? He quit.
He quit.
Where do you think?
I'll put it to you like this. I like Aaron Stevens, and I feel like whatever he lost during that god awful Impact run, he's regained. He's starting to regain that magic that he had in that WWE. Especially during like that Miz period where I feel like he was at his peak.
Yeah.
Doing like the stunt double shit and doing like the different characters. Even he had, I don't know if you remember, he had like a little brief run with Curtis Axel, where I think Axel was Hogan and I think Sandow was he was Macho Mandow.
Yes, I do remember that. I tried to block it out, I think, but I do remember it.
That was actually funny. Like I said, he was golden for the majority of his WWE run. He went to Impact. His career, like a lot of people's, fell off a cliff, but he's starting to regain it.
Well, good for him.
I feel like he got his groove back a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. But Anthony, could he be the question mark? Could he be the question mark? I don't know. Maybe. But before the question mark match, we had Thunder Rosa and Marty Bell defeating Crystal Rose and Brooklyn Creed. They should just call their tag team Crystal Meth. Both these girls look like they just came out of the trailer park. Jerry Springer, like they just walked off the set of Springer.
that Jesus, bro, that was stiff.
What?
That was stiff.
Oh, well, anyway. In my opinion, that match would have been god-awful had it not been for Thunder Rosa. I think she's the best worker out of the bunch, and Marty Bell's got a great ass. What did you get out of this match, Anthony?
Pretty much the same thing.
Okay. Awesome.
I mean, I like Thunder. I like Thunder Rosa, and I feel like she's a good base for him to build around. But they don't really have a lot of women. I mean, Ring of Honor, NWA. I'm not really sure what Impact's women's division is looking like these days. But it feels like outside of like WWE, you don't really have a lot to choose from in terms of like solid women's wrestlers up and down the roster.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I mean, look, we spent a lot of time complaining about the women's division in NWA. They're only on episode 6. You know, let's give them a little bit of time to kind of grow into the whole thing. And they don't really. I don't think they really had a women's like roster on. And did they? I never watched NWA, so I'm not sure. But
I mean, I don't know, for some reason, and I could be all base here. Maybe, like I said, you know, Billy Corgan, they did like a little video piece on this episode. You know, more is coming.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess you got to give it time because they're only 6 weeks in, so you got to give it time. But I get the vibe that they're not really all in, to steal a phrase, in on their women's division. I feel like it's almost like they have a women's title just for the sake of having a women's title. Just to kind of like fill a quota almost. Because even though they have like they got like the women have a little story going on right now, it doesn't get a ton of focus.
Yeah, well, it's a good thing they're not focusing on the women's division right now. To be honest with you, it's a good idea, but I don't know. I mean, like we're saying, the show's new. It's going to take a little bit of time. Give them a little bit of fucking time. And I did subscribe to that newsletter though, so. I'm actually going to see now.
So you can be notified of a show that you're not going to?
Well, I'm not going to go to Atlanta. I just wanted to see if they, if anything came through for them. Nope, not yet. Okay. When we get it,
I'll be honest. It's like, I don't know if I would ever do it, but I would actually seriously consider at some point going. Not because the wrestling is like over the top great, but just for the atmosphere of being in that studio. I'm actually surprised you wouldn't do something like that, just to kind of get that feel, since that's your era.
Well, if it came here, I just don't know. But I mean, I did like you said, Billy Corgan said there is more to come, and he said a lot of people are thinking this is all we have to offer. This is just where we're starting. So
remember, 20-year plan. So he's still got about 19 and a half more years to go.
Yeah, I just hope I'm alive to see the fruition of this plan he's got. But anyway, we had that women's match right there. Thunder Rosa and Marty Bell did win, and then they cut a very strange promo afterwards. But anyway, that was neither here nor there. Anthony, then we had the question mark defeating Dan Parker. And he's asking me if I'm going to GCW. That's in Austin, right? That's about 5-hour drive from me. Probably not. But that's about a 5-hour drive to Austin. I think it's 5. It might be 6.
There's still time.
I need a car. Honestly, right now, I don't have a car right now. My car's sick. My car is sick. I think I have either a tie rod or a wheel bearing, something like that, out. So making weird noises. But right now I don't even have a car. And anyway. Question mark defeats Dan Parker, the Canadian Dan Parker. I don't know why they kept bringing up that he was Canadian, but they kept bringing up that he was Canadian.
Question mark. Emphasis on the word mark. I wonder.
It looked like Josephus. Is who it looked like under that mask. But I don't know.
I'll be honest, I didn't really pay attention to who it could be. But what do you like as a concept? What do you think of the gimmick? A little too hokey for the NWA, or do you think,
Well, it's kind of like Who. Or, remember WWE, they had Who.
Which was, and
that was Jim Neidhart, actually.
Yeah. And according to Vince Russo, I don't know if you ever heard this, it was supposed to be a dig at Hogan. I never got the joke.
No, me neither. Okay. Maybe it was something on the brother thing. I don't know.
Yeah, one of those old, because who's on first?
What's on second?
All I remember is like some of the corniest commentary you'll ever hear is like Mr. Perfect and Vince McMahon going back and forth with the Who jokes.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, yeah, that match wasn't much. Question Mark did win. This match, though, was pretty damn good. The wild cards came out, which is Thomas Latimer and Royce Isaacs. I'm wondering if they call this, if this guy had his last name Latimer because he looks like Latimer from the program, the movie. They defeated the Outlaw Inc., which is Eddie Kingston and Homicide. Not crazy about that name.
What, Outlaw Inc.?
Those remind me of two cowboys.
Just call them the Outlaws?
Yeah, doesn't that remind you of Cowboys?
Yeah.
Like I'm waiting to see Emilio Estevez and Charlie Sheen walk down from Young Guns.
Not if they spell it Outlaws with a Z.
It's not. It's Outlaw. Not even an S. Outlaw Inc. I just think of two cowboys, but maybe it's because I'm in Texas. I don't know. Meanwhile, this was actually a damn good match between these guys, which, let's face it, we've said before, the wrestling on NWA is not exactly the greatest, but this match here was actually a damn good match for an NWA match.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It was, solid match. It's not, I'm not going to say a whole lot about it just because it's self-explanatory. The match isn't, I'll put it to you like this. I'm enjoying the NWA as a whole. See, I switched it up there. As a whole. And typically, it's almost like with a NWA, the promos typically stand out the most to me because the wrestling's kind of blah.
All right.
Blah, but it's just like, it's more about the vibe for me. It's like, it's so old school. Takes me back to a simpler time in wrestling.
Yeah, I do, man. I fucking like it. New Age Outlaws did not. They were the New Age Outlaws, Shaheen. The New Age. See those two words in front of it. Man, you got to quit being literal, Larry. Anyway, the best part of this show was the commercial at the end. Tony Fox Wrestling Farm. Did you see this?
Yes.
Where we can grow you baby faces or heal.
See them there, hail? Like, Jesus Christ.
Shit. And by the way, did you ever hear the New Age Outlaws talk? They are fucking cowboys. Anyway, both of them sound like fucking hillbillies. So yes, there you go.
Hey, Brian. Hey, how many box? Man, look, you're in Texas. How many cowboys do you know that did the Running Man and the Cabbage Patch on national TV? How many cowboys do you know braided their hair and made hip hop references and all that kind of shit? Like Road Dogg. I mean, look, Road Dogg is a redneck through and through, but he was very hip hoppy. He was very hip hopish with his slang and his language in the late 90s, early 2000s. He got rowdy.
You never went to the small town redneck. They were all hip hop dudes like that. They were all like that. Dude, when I went to Woodbine to go see my friends in Georgia, that's what it was. They weren't playing country music, I'll tell you that. They were playing hip hop. Yeah, dude. That's exactly what they were. All like Road Dogg, pretty much. Surprising, isn't it? But they were.
Yeah.
But they were.
Wait, sorry, I don't. We're not going to bury you on this one. So, what else you got on the NWA?
What the fuck did I say about hip hop that I was an expert? My God, dude. I didn't say one word that made me seem like an expert on hip hop. Oh my God, I don't even fucking like hip hop. I've never even said I was an expert on anything. Jesus Christ. Didn't you get beat up by a girl on New Year's Eve? Shut the fuck up. Get out of here. All right. All right. Anyway, back to this thing we call a show.
We're gonna need you to come out to some West Side Gun before you start beating the shit out of CM Punk. We need you to come out to some West Side Gun, throwing them hands.
I don't even know what that is. Nope. Don't know what it is. Don't know what it is. But, all right. Where are we going here? Is that it? Is that NWA?
NWA was a good show. That tag match was the highlight, even though with a runner up going to Aaron Stevens. I did like that promo.
Yeah, he's great.
Dude. And I'm blanking because did James Storm have a promo on this show?
I think he did. I think we forgot to talk about it, but I think he did at one point.
So things are shaping up. I mean, things are shaping up. Are you looking forward to what do you think the pay-per-view is going to look like in a couple weeks?
I think it's going to be good. I do. I'm looking forward to it. But
you think they're going to turn up the volume, the voltage on these matches? Like, do you think that for this pay-per-view they're going to have those blow-away matches that's going to go, wow? You think people are going to come out of the pay-per-view going like, holy shit, I didn't think NWA was capable of that in 2019.
I hope so.
It's going to be more of the same?
I hope they do that, what you said, kind of go all out. They need to, and, let's face it, dude, their shows are less than an hour, and when you're putting 4 and 5 matches on, you're going to have short matches, which is what they've got right now. So hopefully we'll see some longer matches, some, maybe they'll start building some more storylines, and we'll get some good shit going, but hopefully they don't just go status quo as what they're doing right now. I think that would be a huge mistake on his part. He needs to really push the hell out of this and go, no pun intended, all in on everything he's got. Get some matches, get some storylines going, finish up a storyline or two, and he needs to kill it as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Yep.
So that was NWA week 6.
Yeah. Week 6, man. Man, it feels like they've been on longer, but I'm already looking forward to Tuesday. So we can watch it again. I watch another one. I'm loving it, man. I'm having a great time watching that shit. But all right. Which news you want to start with, Anthony? Because we do have a little bit of news to get into. And which one you want to start with? We've go ahead.
Let's follow up. Follow up from Wednesday. Got an update, I should say, on the Jordan Myles situation.
Oh,
he has since deleted himself from social media, which, in all sincerity, best move this guy can do right now. So put the phone down, stay off social media, and just rethink some things.
Mm-hmm.
Because and that goes for a lot of people. Because I feel like once again he had everybody with him. Had everybody with him with the T-shirt. Everybody is in agreement that the T-shirt was a bad concept, bad idea, just not a good look on a lot of levels. But he lost people with the rants, on ROH, on Jay Lethal, calling everybody and their mama racist. Because it's more, and as we'll get into with the clip that I had you get for me, the Booker T one, he kind of breaks it down, and I feel like throughout this whole situation, Booker T, for as much as we can make fun of some of his catchphrases and the fact that he can go off the rails on commentary whenever he has a live mic in front of him, Booker T, I feel like, is an unsung hero in this entire situation. He's made the most sense out of anybody that I've heard speak on it.
Yeah. He sometimes he really is kind of level-headed on some of these situations. He definitely toes that WWE line, but he works there. He's got to do that. He has to. But, he doesn't go full kiss-ass WWE usually, but he also doesn't go full screw WWE. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I don't want to step on a guy's pain here, but he actually made a good point. He basically said, like, look, you have to learn how to. It's more of a reflection of you when you try to paint everybody with the same brush, the same broad strokes.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we all encounter bad people in our life. That's just an unfortunate part of life. You're going to encounter bad folks, but just because you encounter one bad person in the race doesn't mean you should paint everybody with that same brush.
Right.
Do I think there are racist people or that in WWE? Do I think there are people in WWE with racial tendencies? Absolutely. Do I think the entire company, top to bottom, is racist? No, because that's an ignorant statement to make.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
Which is what he's trying to do. And I think part of that you can blame on age, because I guess he's, 22, 23.
Mm-hmm.
But, some things, at what point do you put an age limit on that? At what point do you say, you know what, you're old enough to just know better? Like, some people don't have to break every little thing down to you.
Right. Yeah, no, I do agree. And, you're right. He's young. Like when we even said Wednesday is kind of young, dumb, and full of cum. But, hopefully
there's a cutoff point on that shit.
There is. And hopefully he's going to look back in one day and be like, man, I really handled that situation really, really bad. So hopefully that'll be something he can look back on one day and think that and improve off of it. But, yeah, and once again, like I'm saying, WWE, yeah, that was fucked up. But he handled it wrong. I mean, a lot of people out there, if you look, some people still haven't grasped the fact that none of those shirts were sold. No, that does not make it right, and I'm not saying that. But that is a point, that none of those shirts were sold. He did say no to that, and they didn't sell the shirts. And there's people out there that still think, my God, I can't believe these shirts are being sold. The shirts were never sold. Yes, they were. Nope. Even he admitted that. Nope, they weren't.
Yeah, and there's a lot of ignorance on this. Well, you signed off on it.
Right.
No. He didn't say no. They showed him something. He was uncomfortable with it. He didn't express that to them per se, but he said basically, okay, how about this idea? Which is what you do in business. You don't like, what I guess one of Vince McMahon's things is, okay, if you don't like something, bring me something. Give me an idea. Don't just tell me something sucks. Offer a solution, which is what he did. So he didn't just come out and say, yeah, I'm not, that's racist, blah, blah, blah. He basically just said, look, how about this? So I think, once again, a lot of people aren't really reading between the lines. They aren't reading fully. They're reading headlines.
Mm-hmm. Oh, right.
As opposed to reading the article.
Yeah, well, that's what a lot of people do. They're just headline readers, and that's the scary thing, because there's usually more meat to what's going on and a lot of things in the article that you need to read. But let's go ahead and play this clip, Anthony. This is Booker T kind of on the whole Jordan Myles. This is after Jordan Myles had put out that video that we played on Wednesday of him getting angry and then getting a phone call and getting his angry back on and then quitting. But
yeah, and that was hilarious. If you folks, please go out of your way to look at that video, because there's an awkward silence because did somebody had put in a smart ass comment at the beginning, like, Uncle Tom, hey, what's going on, Uncle Tom, or something like that, and just the grunt. This rivals that Undertaker snort that you and Shaheen ran into the ground last year. Like, yeah, you just felt that man's anger. Like, it's almost like he was like Hulk Hogan, and like he was like Warrior snorting over there, just like he was just ready to unleash some rage.
Yeah,
when he saw that comment.
But then he got his angry face back on. But this is after that video, the profanity laced tirade, I guess you could call this, of his. Can we call it a temper tantrum? Are we still allowed to call it a temper tantrum?
Yeah, it was very temper-tamperish, and it's Okay. I mean, clearly, this is that came from a place of somebody that doesn't understand contracts, and you just can't arbitrarily quit. I mean, you can quit. I mean, that's your right.
Yeah.
But they also have a right. They also have the right not to release you. They also have the right to just sit you at home.
Yep.
And just, like I said, not starve you out because they still have to pay you, but they can basically have you sit at home, or if you choose to go against that contract, they'll tie you up in a litigation. So even if you have a legitimate case, if you don't have the money to support it, I mean, you look at a guy like CM Punk.
Mm-hmm.
I know we've established that it probably was financially driven while he was coming back. I don't personally have a problem with it because I feel like, look, people change over 5 years. People change, as they get older. People's perspective changes. But I do think that he was a large part of him coming back into the fold somewhat, even though he's working for Fox, is the need for money. Because you can't tell me that lawsuit with Colt Cabana fighting WWE, that didn't drain his fucking account.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure that took a good chunk out of it, and you got to replenish it somehow. So
there's only so many times you can do an autograph signing and charge people $100 and expect them to show up.
Only so many times you can deal with Conrad. So yeah, this is once again Booker T on the Jordan Myles situation after he had already thrown out that temper tantrum. Here we go. Let's roll.
I don't know if Jordan Myles has quit the company, but on social media he say quit the company.
Well, that's his claim.
Yeah, and my thing is, man, I'm not going to sit here and judge or anything like that. I'm not going to sit here and say the guy should have did this, the guy should have did that. I'm going to lay out on that because I don't even want any backlash as far as someone saying, "Oh, well, Booker said this or Booker said that." But I'm just going to say this, man. It's a situation to where, it all started, with the T-shirt, and now it's gotten to this, and I don't know where it's going to go from here. But I do know, like some of the stuff he was saying as far as the company goes, I cannot. I've been on this earth for 54 years, and if you think one person is something, call it that. If you think that person is something, call it that. But I cannot judge a group and say everybody is that. And when you make a blanket statement like that, you do no justice for yourself or the culture, because and like I say, I say this because I've had a lot of years and a lot of experience, and I do know I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for a white guy by the name of Bruce Casarch, who made this all happen for me as far as changing my life. That's another story, and I easily could have judged everyone the same way after my situation going to prison. Being a kid who had never been in trouble before, first time in the back of a police car, getting locked up and say the system did me wrong. I hate everybody of that color. You know what I mean? And if I would have did that, I would have did myself an injustice more than anything. And I think that's the situation I want to make clear here, that the way he's going by this, he's doing himself an injustice. And that's my take on that. And I'm going to leave it at that.
Oh, really good insight there by Booker T. I cannot argue with one thing he just said there. Not one. That was very, very well put, actually, in my opinion. Very well put.
Damn right. I mean, like I said, man, I feel like Booker T has been a sound, logical voice throughout this whole entire situation. You listen to different podcasts, including ours, and a lot of people's opinions on this. It's been so divided and so all over the place and making it more racial than it really needs to be. And I feel like Booker T's been one of the more logical voices throughout everything, consistently.
Yeah, he definitely has been, man. And I mean, listen to that right there. That's one reason why he seems to think before he speaks, number one, which is a very good thing to do. He's been down a lot of these roads. He's just said he's 54 years old. He's got life experience. He's probably experienced way more racism than a T-shirt. Honestly, let's be honest here. 54 years that they're, go back. There were shitty times during there. So I'm sure he's experienced way more than just a T-shirt that was racist about him and on him. And,
think about it. The man grew up in Texas. He was, and like I said, WCW's been dead and gone for a long time. And you can't tell me a company that has its roots in the South, black man in the South, you can't tell me him and Stevie Ray didn't encounter some racial shit. I mean, there's a famous story. I mean, go back and watch, I want to say it was the first Hog Wild. And that was the fucking free show that they would do at the motorcycle rally.
Right.
And and Sturgis.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was Harlem Heat versus the Steiners. So imagine two black guys in the middle of a fucking biker rally. Stevie Ray basically said they were called everything under the fucking sun. These guys been drinking all day, revving up so throwing shit at them. So you could imagine.
Yeah, those bikers aren't known to be
racially sensitive.
Okay, I was going to say tolerant, but that's probably better. Most of them are not known for that. Pretty badass guys, most of them. But yeah, I mean, look, like I was saying, I'm sure Booker T's experienced a lot more than that. But I mean, the comparison he made isn't great. I mean, as far as getting arrested and blaming the system, that was a choice you made. Jordan Myles didn't make. I mean, he made the choice to handle it the way he did, but he didn't make the T-shirt. So there's a little gray area there. But I do agree with what he said. The gist of the whole thing of don't put everyone in a fucking don't put everyone in a pile and go the whole company is this, the whole company is that. The whole company didn't do this to you. When you say the whole company, you're talking about your friends in the company also. People people that are not racist. People that are with your culture that you're also saying the same thing about. So, not the smartest comment to make. I mean, I wish he had just flat out said names. I think he did in the second thing that we read, but I can't disagree with one thing Booker T said. Like I said, the meat of it all was 100% correct. You do need to, and he did choose to handle it this way, so not a good idea.
Yeah, and it's just, once again, you kind of like limit your options.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, 22, 23 years old, you still got God willing, you got a lot of life left to live.
Yeah.
Do you really want to be washed up at 23? and it's like, it's one of those situations where, look, people have left that company, got themselves right, got themselves in better shape, got themselves, where they need to be, and then down the line, you come back. I don't feel like there's any reason at this stage of your life to be burning them type of bridges. If you're not happy at this moment, cool. Honor your commitment, leave, and then, like I said, either spread your wings and fly elsewhere, or at the very least, leave in a way to where the door is open for a comeback. Now, you're basically not only blackballing yourself from the biggest company in the world, you're also setting yourself up to not have any other options down the line.
As far as WWE, Alberto Del Rio called them racist, called Triple H racist. I believe called Vince McMahon a racist. They brought his ass back for a while.
There's a little difference, though. He lineage in the business.
Okay.
He had legacy in the business. This dude doesn't really have that to stand on.
True, and he was never up on the main roster. So yeah, bad comparison. It happens. I do that sometimes. What are you gonna do? Fuck it. But yeah. I mean, I guess that is a difference right there. But yeah, as far as this Jordan Myles thing, though, I mean, it's a bad situation. Again, I said a couple, I believe, Wednesday, maybe even last Friday. I don't remember when we talked about it. That it was handled bad on both sides. Obviously, for WWE to even present that shirt, not a good idea. For Jordan Myles to put it public like that, a horrible idea. Horrible. Unless he had this plan the whole time. And by the way, I still see people going, this was a work. This is all a work. You think so? Really? With the language he used on that quit video? This ain't a work, guys.
No, I mean, seriously. I mean, calling somebody a racist is borderline. No, I won't even say borderline. It's 100% slanderous. You can get sued for shit like that. Mm-hmm. That's a heavy accusation for an employee to make about its employer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
That's something that, if that could be proven in court as accurate, WWE could be in a lot of shit for.
Yeah, I mean, if it, I mean, again, that's even with the so-called evidence, the shirt, it's hard to prove. It wouldn't be, but it again handled horribly on both sides, and this would have all just been gone if he hadn't mentioned it. Like I said, I get the fact that he wanted to get this off his chest, he wanted to get it put out, but what outcome did he expect? Honestly, what outcome do you expect when you do something like that? Do you think everyone's just going to say, "Hey, great, awesome," and then Triple H is going to go, "Good job, kid"? No, not how it's going to go. Not how it's going to go. So I don't know exactly what outcome he was looking for, but I don't think this was it.
Yeah, and once again, I want to say, I'm guessing, if I had to guess, the outcome he was looking for was to get fired. But if I'm WWE, as much as we can shit on this company, you can't reward bad behavior. You can't set the precedent that anytime you get out and act the fool on social media, that you can just get out of your contract. You can't do that. So you have to say, I'm sorry, you have to make examples out of people.
Oh no, you're right.
You got to let people know. I mean, how many people have publicly this year alone, I've requested my release. Thank you, WWE, but I want out. You can't. That's a dangerous precedent to set if you're WWE. So I understand why they're playing hardball with some people. You got to send a message. You got to set some examples.
Yeah. Well, it at that point it turns into the kind of the broken windows theory. You know what that is?
No, break down. That's the first time hearing this one.
No, you see, let's say there's an abandoned warehouse. One person throws a rock through the window. Next person's going to throw a rock through another window, and so on and so forth. If people think they can get away with it, they're going to keep doing it. Basically, is the broken windows theory. It's kind of the theory. Smaller crimes lead to bigger crimes. Is kind of the theory on that. But that's kind of the whole thing. If you say, okay, all you got to do is go on social media, act a fool, and then WWE will let you out of your contract. You start doing that, everyone's going to do it. Everyone's going to think they can do it. And then where are you left? With a bunch of people acting like fools, talking shit about your company, giving you a worse reputation. I'm not going to sit here and say WWE has a good reputation. So I'm going to go giving you a worse reputation than you already have. You can't do that. You can't do that. It would literally sink your company if you did that to everybody. And especially right now, with the fact that, let's face it, whether WWE thinks they're competition or not, AEW's competition. And with competition right now, they're not letting anyone go. You really think they're going to let Sin Cara go right now? Nope.
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 Because think about it, Revival. I think they got what? They got signed to what? $500,000 a piece? No way they're getting that type of money if AEW's not an option. I guarantee you. Whatever he signed, whatever Vince signed Mike Cugnelis, I guarantee you that's the hardest paycheck. That's the hardest fucking paycheck he has to sign off on. Because damn well if AEW wasn't an option, no way is this guy getting signed for another 5 years.
No. At that point, he probably asked for the stamp. I can't even sign it. Give me my stamp.
Because you got there's some of these people. Look, you got to know some of these people that Vince is signing off on. He's so disgusted. The fucking Revival. He's signing off on those paychecks with tears. I guarantee you, bro. Some of those contracts he's signing off on, he's like, Jesus Christ. Do I really need a Dash Wilder? Is he really an essential part of my team right now?
You know what? I bet Vince actually likes Dash because he punched that dude. Vince likes that. You know he loved that.
You think so? Even now, at this point, with all that he's got going on with the stocks and WWE being public, you think there's a part of old school Vince that was like, yeah,
he did it on the network. I bet Vince was proud. That's something Vince would like right there. That's Vince.
Now you don't think you don't think he was pissed because it brought too much of the wrong kind of attention on the company?
I think if he did it on television, maybe. That wasn't televised that year, was it? That wasn't televised that year. No, it was only on the network that year. That was last year, right? Yeah, it was last year.
Yeah, no, it was this year.
This year. Well, yeah. You know what I mean.
Yeah.
Last WrestleMania. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, WrestleMania. Yeah, got you. I got you.
Yeah. So, yeah, I can see Vince being proud of that.
Don't get me wrong. I was proud of Dash.
Hell yeah.
He was doing what he felt he had to do to protect the greatness that was Bret Hart. So yeah, he'll always get my respect for that. But it was just kind of funny because it was kind of fucked up that he hit a dude that was already subdued.
Well,
I think that's the part that people were kind of like griping about, the fact that the dude was already contained. He couldn't defend himself. Not that he was going to do anything anyway. He still would have got drilled. But it was just the point that the guy was incapacitated. He couldn't defend himself even if he wanted to.
Listen, my grandfather always said the best time to kick a guy's ass is when he's on the ground. Your foot is just that much closer to it.
So he didn't believe in fighting fair, huh?
My grandfather was crazy. This is my dad's dad. He was nuts, man. He was crazy. But he grew up in a much different time and in one of the roughest parts of Boston. Dorchester is especially back in those days, was a rough part of Boston. So he was a rough, tough guy. Even in his old age, he was still a tough man. But yeah, that was one of his great lines he used to say.
If you want more details on that part of Boston, check out the old Black Mass episode on Hollywood Hangout, available in the archives.
There is some Dorchester on there. You're right. They were down in that southy area of Dorchester. Yeah.
Yep.
And
Fox went into a lot of detail.
Yeah. Worcester, Mass, all over that place they were down. I loved that movie. That was a great movie.
Now, is it Worcester or Worcester?
Worcester. It's basically you're saying Worcester. Worcester. Trust me, no one can really pronounce it correctly, Anthony. However you say it, it's correct. How's that sound?
Yeah, maybe if we can lucky enough to get a listener from Worcester, he can clarify for us. Somebody that was born and raised in that area. If you ever hear this, call in. Let us know what is the correct pronunciation of your state, of your city.
Yeah, there you go. Let us know. I could always just call my parents. One of them could tell us, but let's not do that. Remember, both born in Boston, raised in Boston, so I'm sure they could tell us. But I'm not going to wake them. Anyway, what are the news? I think we're good on the Jordan Myles thing. We talked a lot about it already, and I don't really have anything more on it. You?
Oh, no.
All right.
No, we're done with it. Yeah. Just wanted to get that quick little update. And like I said, hopefully, whatever he got going on, he'll get the help that he needs and just lay off social media for a while.
Yeah, a long while. A real long while. That would be a good idea, though. He does. He needs to just chill, let everything settle. I still don't. I don't think they're going to let him out of his contract. They would rather him sit at home. You know it, and I know it. I think. There's rumors that they fired him, but I don't know about that. I don't know. I haven't heard confirmation. WWE usually puts out those little, we've come to terms with real name here, and I haven't seen one.
Yeah, like I said, you said it before. They're going to starve him out. I don't think they're going to do that. Literally, I just think they're going to just sit him at home, out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah, probably. Like I said, they're not going to let him out of that contract. You know it. He probably knows it too at this point. Why would they?
Yep. Like now is the hardest time to get fired from that company, get relief. You literally have to go on a Benoit style rampage to get exiled from that company. Like literally, I mean, I'm not endorsing it, obviously, for anybody. But I'm saying that's literally the only thing you could do at this point to get exiled from that company. The only thing.
Yeah, pretty much. That's what you would need to do. But you never know. Vince might just get you out of it, like the old snooker days. Who knows? But you never know with that guy. But I'm just trying to see what else we got here. What else was it? You said we had a couple more news stories, Anthony. What else was there?
No, I'm trying to see.
I'm going through a little bit. I got a couple of things here. I'm just trying to pull up because I didn't get news ready like I usually do. It's just been a shitty week. But thank God it's Friday. But,
yes, let me see.
Loading up a little something right here. Hopefully we'll be able to see what this is. Actually, this is Brandy Rhodes when she was talking about when she first met Sammy Guevara. And
that's what it was. That's
yes,
bullshit.
And he flirted with her. She was at a StarCast panel, and she was talking about the first time. And then she started talking about the time when she met him again when he came to the company, AEW. And she said, and I quote, "I went and found Sammy and I said, 'Hey, Sammy, you had a WWE tryout. Was I working there when you did?' Rhodes said, that's what she said. And he said, 'Yeah.' And I said, 'Did we meet backstage when you did?' He said, 'Oh, yeah.' I said, 'Why, this is written horribly.' And I shook your hand, right?" And he said, 'Yeah.'" And does she really talk like this? Seriously? Is this how she talks? And I said, "And then what did you do?" And he was like, "Oh, I shook your hand," I said. "No, you winked at me and you offended the hell out of me."
Jesus Christ. Like,
Jesus.
come on,
She continued, "I remember to this day, I was so pissed about that because why on earth would you just wink at a married lady backstage when you're this up-and-coming guy? Like, I was so pissed. I talked to so many people about it. I mean, I shouldn't be pissed about this, right? But I'm really pissed." And so I was like, literally, you came up to me, did this, and he's like, "I'm so sorry, I probably did, and I didn't know, like, at the point in time, I didn't know that you were married." And I'm like, bullshit, dude. You just did that. That makes perfect sense, though, if you know anything about Sammy Guevara.
Where to unpack with this one? There's a lot to digest there, man.
Yeah, and I said, like, dude, my God, if she really talks like this, I'd be like, wait, could you start that story over, please? Please? Man, this thing needed Cliff Notes. Anyway. Yeah, so he winked at her, and she was offended.
Box, is that where we're at? Seriously? Where? I mean, like, do we honestly need waivers to even look in women's general directions right now? If you have a dick, you need a contract to be able to look in a woman's general vicinity, to be allowed in her airspace to breathe the same air that she breathes in. Look, I get what she's saying to a point. You're in a professional setting. You shouldn't use it as a social hour, but the dude winked at you. And on the list of things that a man could do to a woman that can be disrespectful and cross a line, I don't think winking should be anywhere near that list. Like, come on, man. Is that where we're at with this shit?
Yeah, this may sound harsh. If you're offended from just some guy winking at you that you really don't know anyway, and he's just being, that's a little douchey, but I kind of think that's your issue to get over, not his. I hate to say that, but that's kind of your issue. Seriously.
That's a you problem.
Yeah, that's something you need to get over, and that means you're offended by everything, and you need to chill. Again, is it douchey? Yeah, it's a little douchey, a little outdated, a little... But then again, look at the guy. He's Sammy Guevara. He's a Latin god. Isn't that what Chris Jericho called him?
Yeah, it's one of those things where, why bring it up now? I mean, like, it's not like it was a Me Too situation. It's not like it was a Cosby situation. Did he put something? Did he give you a drink? Did you feel a little funny after you? I mean, like, come on.
Hey. Oh, sorry, Anthony.
Like, why bring this up? Especially when a guy is under contract. Like he's already working for you, so clearly it's water under the bridge unless you hired him just to fuck with him.
See, that's what got me. Why would you give this guy this bad reputation? Like, now everyone's going to be like, oh, man. Especially this audience in AEW. Go to that goddamn AEW page. Look at the people you're dealing with.
Fuck that page.
Go to... See what I mean? Look at the people you're dealing with. They would be offended by that too. Let me just put it that way. That's the people you're dealing with. She knows she's in front of a bunch of SJWs, and she goes ahead and, look, you said it, dude. She kind of tries to throw her Me Too moment in there. It's exactly what she was trying to do right there.
Like literally, to listen to that, and I know we're kind of fucking around with it, but to listen to that, you would think that he did some Harvey Weinstein level shit. Had her in a room, feeling uncomfortable, feeling all kinds of uncomfortable. And like you said, is it douchey? Yeah. Should you have a certain level of decorum in the workplace? Absolutely. But the dude winked at you. Nothing came from it. What the fuck? I mean, move on. Like, he was an extra. Like, he was an extra. He was just there making his money, jobbing out the ride back, or whoever else they had him jobbing out to that night. Made his $50, and he went on about his merry fucking way. Like, Jesus, like,
yeah.
Who like Tink Tink? Who hurt Tink Tink?
Yeah, if you didn't say anything that night, you probably should have just moved the fuck on from that shit. Seriously. Obviously, he didn't even remember. Like, he was like, I did? Did I?
You see, he's a hot light star, bro. That's how much ass he didn't got. He didn't forgot about you. That's so 2007. He's like, what the fuck? Look, you know how much ass I didn't got since 2007? Please. That would have been my response to that shit. Like, see, like, honest to God, man.
He probably is that fucking maniac. Jesus Christ.
Like, bitch, you had your chance. Like, I'm like...
Oh, shit. That's crazy, man. But, yeah, that's again, I just kind of think that's your issue to get over in some ways, in my opinion. Like I said, I know it's a little harsh, but we really need to lighten up everything we're offended by, as far as I'm concerned. We're in the I'm offended by everything culture still. I thought maybe it was getting a little better, but no, it's getting worse. It's getting worse with the cancel culture and pretty much everything Dave Chappelle talked about, goddammit. Now, Anthony, I think we're good on that, right?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Darby Allin was he was doing an interview. It was right after AEW, and basically he was asked kind of a little bit about going to WWE, and basically he said if he went to WWE, they would have him probably on TV jacking off in a boiler room. Was pretty much his words.
If it were 99, 2000, I could see that.
Yeah.
Hell, if it was like 2003 TNA, absolutely. Now, not so much.
Yeah, and really the question was, why did you join AEW over a WWE? Which, I got to be 100% honest, I don't think WWE was looking at this guy, to be honest with you. He said...
So that option wasn't there for him, even if he wanted to go.
Very true. He said creative freedom, hands down. One of the reasons he joined. A lot of people, if they see me at first, they don't know how to present me. AEW is like, how do you want to be presented? Instead of this is how we're going to present you. Give me that creative freedom. WWE would probably have me a creepy figure in a boiler room jacking off or something. No, I'm fine. I want to skateboard and represent that culture, said Darby Allin. This was actually at the StarCast the other day on Friday. This is a little older of an article, but This is, I think, what we're going to be hearing from a lot of people, which is why I wanted to bring this up. I think we're going to be hearing this from a lot of the guys that are in AEW. This is going to be the biggest difference in the company. Creative freedom, the freedom to go out there and cut your promo. You know what I mean? Go out there and talk, say what you want, get some bullet points. Obviously, Cody was going off the cuff with that one promo. Obviously, Jericho and MJF were going off the cuff. They might have had a few things planned out, like that Cody thing and stuff like that, but definitely you can see a difference in their promos. And dare I say this, Anthony, I hate to say this, AEW could probably use more guys that can cut promos like that, cutting more promos like that.
Yeah, so here's my 2 cents on that.
Mm-hmm.
Creative freedom is a beautiful thing.
Mm-hmm.
But it comes with a price. There has to be some balance there. There has to be some that I get WWE can be a little bit contrived sometimes, a little bit too formula by the book, but they're also the ones making the most money. There has to be some organization of things. You can't have everybody having creative freedom like that because everybody's not Jericho. Everybody's not MJF.
Right.
Everybody's not even Cody. I'll give Cody that respect. Cody's a hell of a promo. Not everybody has that ability to go off the cuff. Now, I can guarantee you a large majority of AEW's roster doesn't have that ability to cut promos. Mm-hmm. I don't think a guy like Shawn Spears, for example, could go out there and do what Cody did for 3 minutes.
No,
you couldn't give him a 3-minute window to cut a promo to get himself over and goddamn, that was a hell of a promo.
Mm-hmm.
It would suck. I say that with 100% certainty. That would suck. The Young Bucks, I mean, outside of the hokey shit that they do with the Being the Elite, almost like the tongue-in-cheek stuff they did, I don't think they could cut believable promos if they wanted to.
No, all they can do is cut the same promos. You know, hey, we're here for you, and we love you, and the fans.
Yeah, like the tongue-in-cheek promos they do.
Right.
You know, like the inside joker, wink, wink, nudge, nudge type of, Well, so
yeah.
I feel like there has to be a balance there. Like there has to be some checks and balances. Like Tony Khan, obviously he's like, I guess he's the one pulling the strings behind the scenes.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that over time he's going to become like a Dixie Carter type, where he stays behind the scenes, but that he's going to get lured in at some point? Because he's saying he doesn't want to be that dude. He just wants to be behind the scenes. But he's starting to strike me as a bit of a money mark, because you got this guy, Orange Cassidy is his favorite wrestler. He's taking pictures with the wrestlers, dressed up as and I get it was Halloween and it was supposed to be a fun thing, but there has to be a separation between church and state. You've never seen Vince McMahon out in public dressed like Hogan or dressed like Austin. You've never seen him on that level. Vince has always kind of put himself above all that.
Right.
So don't you think, if you're the owner, if you're the one that's signing off on the checks, that there should be a separation there? You shouldn't kind of put yourself on the same level as the boys, as the wrestlers.
Yeah, and that's kind of why I think he was looking to take himself out of that picture a little bit. You know what I mean? But yeah, I agree. Yeah, you need, and we've talked about this before. You do need to have that certain thing, and I mean it's a little different than Vince. I mean, Vince has been old for a long time. You know what I mean, Anthony? A little different, but I get where you're going as far as, the
but even in his younger days, you never really saw him like. I mean, that's just kind of douchey if you really stop and think. Excuse me. When you have the owner of the company dressed up as one of the right, I mean, it's not even the top guy. It's Orange Cassidy. Like, come on, man. like.
All right, yeah, it's a little weird.
I get you, like the guy, but that was kind of douchey.
It is, but you know what? Right now they're having fun, and he is one of the boys right now. Whether he really is. He's out there. He's in the ring. He's doing his shit. So I got no issues with it right now. If he wants to get himself out of the title picture, I got no problem with that. That's a great idea as far as I'm concerned. Stay out of it. Let the other guys get the comeuppance. That's what you should be doing. But otherwise, man, they're just having a good time over there. And you know what? Maybe they don't want that stuffed shirt, stuffy feeling of having to have these rules and don't be like that and we got to separate. And maybe they all just want to be kind of like family over there. And I got no problems with that, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let me ask you.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think do you think he's getting worked in this situation? Or do you think that it's like pretty much on the up and up? Or do you ever see down the line a situation where they the wrestlers start to kind of like take advantage of Tony Khan? Almost kind of like you hear the stories now because it doesn't matter, she's out of the picture. But you hear all of these stories about Dixie being like a supermarket for like the Hogans, the Nashes, the Hall, you know, the star power. And she sacrificed so much of her homegrown talent just because she was in awe. Like she was almost in awe of the fact that she was able to like basically buy all of these stars.
Yeah.
Your Hogans, your Stings, and your Angles, and Christian to an extent. That she sacrificed all of her homegrown talent, your AJs, your Daniels, the people that had basically been there with her from day one. She sacrificed them, and it ultimately led to nothing.
Yeah.
It led to nothing. Do you see a situation like that down the line where Tony Khan gets played for a mark, played for a fool?
No. Dixie was different because Dixie was a money mark, not only a money mark, but she wanted to be on television. She wanted to be the star of the show. And I don't think Khan wants that at all. I don't even think he wants to be on television, which is fine with me. Let him just be back there doing his thing. Let him stay in the back. We don't need him. No one needs him out there. And I think if he keeps doing that, there's no problem with him thinking, you know, he's not I know he's not one of the boys, but there's no problem with him going out there and mingling with people. It's not a bad thing. As much as people say, oh, you gotta be the boss, you gotta be the stuffed shirt, you gotta let them know who the boss is. Not always. That's not always the way it is. And right now with this new company, they're all, like I said, they're all just having a good fucking time. They're out there doing their thing, and after a while, maybe he might need to pull it back a little, but right now, let him have his fun, man. Let them all be out there acting like the family they feel like they are, as far as I'm concerned. I don't know what you think about that, but that's what I think about it.
I mean, that's fair. You know, you gotta wait and see. Wait and see. I'll put it to you like this. If JR goes, goddamn, Money Mark Khan, we'll know the shit is starting to fall off the rails.
Yeah, exactly. Now, Darby Allin also, now I didn't know all this. I guess he was doing some stuff for Evolve. And he joined them earlier in his career, and he worked bunches of matches for them. And obviously it seems like they're not doing very well, because at the end of the little interview, he goes, oh yeah, tell Evolve to go fuck itself.
Well, damn.
Don't know what that's all about. But Gabe Sapolsky came back with a nice little chime in. Someone put goddamn snitch. And Gabe Sapolsky came back and said, don't really care. I wish him the best. He did a lot of great work in Evolve. You can catch it now on Club WWN and he put up the thing for $9.99 a month for his little streaming service. So he's like, fuck it, you want to talk shit about me? I'll get some money out of this. So that's what he's doing. But yeah, and Bo, that I got all that off of a Fightful article, and of course, just wanted to mention that because it was a damn good article.
Well, I mean, if I had to guess, he probably got I guess he was not happy with his Sprite and the bunless hot dog that Gabe probably paid him with.
Who knows, man? I don't know what I never knew they had a problem. I really never saw Darby Allin in Evolve. The first time I believe I saw Darby Allin was on a GCW show. I believe I was watching a GCW show with Shaheen, and I saw him for the first time. I think that's where I first saw him.
Yeah, but I mean, it don't really take much to get why he's probably pissed off. I mean, it's an indie show, and you've seen some. Look, the Evolve shows are fucking fantastic. A lot of good wrestling on those shows. But if you look at some of their shows on YouTube, if you look at clips, there's not a lot of people, unless it's like a big show, unless it's like a WrestleMania weekend type show. There a lot of people do not attend Evolve shows, which means the payoffs, unless you're a super top guy, probably shit.
Yeah.
So,
and
Darby Allin at that point in time was probably, like I said, low on the card, super opening match, and he probably didn't make a lot. So if I had to guess, that's probably why he's pissed off.
Probably. And I mean, I don't think I've ever watched an Evolve show, to be honest with you. So I don't know. So I don't really have much to comment on that. But
yeah, I've been to a handful of shows, and like I said, good wrestling, but unless it's like unless it's like a WrestleMania weekend type show, and even sometimes then, I feel like Evolve gets the short end of the stick because normally they're competing with so much. You got obviously WWE's in town,
right?
You got Ring of Honor back when Ring of Honor was worth a damn. Yeah, and you have countless indies. You have WrestleCon. You have autograph signings. So it's super competitive during that time of the year. You're competing for a lot of people's attention.
Right. Yeah.
And it's like people only have so many time. It's like you can't go to but so many shows at a time. So a lot of times Evolve will get the short end of the stick because they would be competing with the NXT, especially if they're going head to head with like a takeover or something. God help them. I mean, God help them, because it's like the only people that are showing up to your show is the only reason people are showing up to your shows because they couldn't get tickets to the NXT show.
Yeah,
it was sold out.
It was sold out. Oh, that's cringy. That hurts. That hurts. But I don't know, man. I gotta tell you, I don't have anything else unless you do. I don't know if you had anything else, Anthony.
No, I think we hit all the high points.
I think we did too, man. I think we can wrap up on that note. Look at that. Look at us. Less than about 2.5 hours here.
Beautiful thing, ain't it?
Ain't it? I like that shit. All right. Well, let's get the plugs out of the way. Anthony, you still have Shaheen's stuff pulled up over there where he's going to be?
I'll hit your plugs up first and I'll pull those back up.
All right. Then let me go ahead and, you know what? We'll just do Shaheen last. How's that sound? Which is good. We'll save the best for last. How's that sound?
Yes.
Perfect.
Sounds like a plan.
All right, then I will start with check out the Wrestling's High Marks. Those guys over there, really good guys. Fun show. Cheeseman Mojo and Gee Whiz. How can you not listen to that show? Just listen to those names. How can you not want to fucking listen? Of course, a special shout out, Bobby Anthem, when he's searching for his lost soul. Check that out on the Inhuman Experience feed. Check him out on all the major podcast platforms. And you can also check out Eric, Doug, and Daniel. They're on the Unscripted Wrestling Show, and you can check that out on the Philly Sports Passion feed, which means you'll also get the Philly Sports Passion podcast on there, too, talking about everything sports, so check that out. Stephen Milan, check him out. Guy always down to share the show, and we really, really appreciate it. And now he's he's even sharing 2 a week now, which we even more appreciate. So check him out once again at letterboxd with a D.com/Stephen Milan with 2 L's. Check out me and Anthony tomorrow night, 11:30 p.m. Eastern Time, right on this Mixer, mixer.com/DirtSheetDudes, and we will be doing a Hollywood hangout, little movie review, and there you go for that. And don't forget to leave Dirt Sheet Dudes a review on Apple.
Review, please. It helps us.
Absolutely. Definitely helps us. And you know what? If you leave us a review, let us know. We'll check out your show and leave you a review also. How's that sound? We'll definitely reciprocate if you've got a show. Like our Facebook page, facebook.com/DirtSheetDudes. Follow us on Twitter at DirtSheetDudes. And once again, check everything out. Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Google Podcast, TuneIn, Player FM. I think we're on Podcast Addict now. We are in Podcast Addict now. And we are just goddamn everywhere. So there you go for that. Anthony, you ready?
Yes, sir.
All right. Wrestling OD, the Wrestling Overdose. Don't forget to check him out. And Nuclear Heat Graphics at nuclearheatshop.com. Anthony, let it roll.
So Shaheen will be at the big event tomorrow with his table in full effect. He's going to have Road Warrior Animal, Steve Corino, Masada, and Michael Elgin on this table. So be sure to check him out. He's also going to be in Philly next week at the Icons of Pro Wrestling and House of Hardcore. And if you're in the Northeast area, Hog, House of Glory, New York Arena, They're doing a special tribute show to Matt Travis, the late Matt Travis. Show's called No Limit. Autograph signing starting at 4 o'clock. They're going to have wrestling legends, luminaries such as Rock and Roll Express and Kurt Angle. 7 o'clock bell time. All proceeds of the show are going to the family of Matt Travis. So please, if you're in the tri-state area, New York, Jersey, Philly, Delaware, go support a good cause. Rest in peace, Matt Travis.
Absolutely. On that note, we thank everybody who downloads this show. We thank everybody who was in the chat room. Really appreciate you guys joining us, especially on a Friday night. And we haven't been doing these Friday night shows that long, so we really appreciate you guys taking your time and joining us live. And once again, everyone downloading the show, thank you, Anthony. Appreciate you riding along here. And,
of course.
All right. And we will see you guys tomorrow night for Hollywood Hangout. We will see you guys Wednesday night for Dirt Sheet Dudes. Well, once again, thanks, everybody. See y'all. Have a good weekend.
Peace.
Take your drunken ass on. Yeah! Yo, can I hear this record by Rob?